madness, your ritual.
Fine with our system until the power grid was shut off by Dickless here.
They caused an explosion. Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Were you supposed to be some kind of cosmonaut? You were exterminated. So it's all time grows up on 12. There's gonna be some cockroach. He'll bite your head off out. I blame myself. So do I. Well, there's no sense in worrying about it now. What do you mean, physical? Fire and down. Coming down from the sky. We're attacking boiling. Directed from the grave. Nothing can living together. Hysteria. My worry. Each of us is carrying an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on its back. What do you mean, physical? Fire and brimstone. Coming down from the sky. Spirit that is boiling. Directed from the grave. Nothing can living together. Mass hysteria.
We came. We saw. We kicked its ass.
Are you God? No. Then die. Are you a God? No. Then die. Are you a God? No. Then die. Are you a God? No. Then die.
What's going down? How the hell are ya? Hopefully everybody's doing fantastic. It is Friday evening, and you're listening to Ritual Madness Podcast. If you could do me a favor and check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective over in South Minneapolis. Lowbrow Saints, 612-353-4755. Give them a shout or shoot them an email, lowbrowsaints@gmail.com. Again, Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective, 612-353-4755. Give them a shout. We'll have some fun. Talk some shit. Get a tattoo right on the tip of your nose. How about that? Get a fly on the tip of your nose. That would be hilarious, I think.
That'd be great. Why not?
I don't know how people do that, man. That shit would hurt like a motherfucker.
I don't know how people can tattoo the top of their eyelids, but
yeah,
they do.
How does that not go like right into your shit? You know what I mean? Like right into your eyeball?
Very experienced tattooer.
What would you? Okay, so let me ask you this: if you were to get your eyebrows tattooed, or not your eyelids, okay. If you were to get your eyelids tattooed, what would it say?
I've had everything planned out from my neck, my chest, my arms, my back, my knuckles. I've never even thought about my eyelids, because why?
I'm sleeping. That's it. Just 1, 2 little letters there, and then sleeping. 82 letters the other way.
I got it. Dick Jones. Period.
Oh my days.
Dick Jones.
Dick Jones.
That's a good one, man.
Yeah,
why not? Why not?
Yeah.
We've got the Wolf Mask Cats, Wolfman Jacks in the house. We just listened to one of their tunes. What was that one called?
Dickless.
Jesus, it was like we were chanting together and shit. Dickless. Awesome. It's good to have you guys here.
It's good to see you again.
How have you guys been? It seems like forever. Well, David, you haven't been on the show for many years, right?
I was trying to remember, when was it? But it feels like there's this gap because this thing happened, and I feel like now we live in this world of, wait, when did that happen?
Yeah.
Because you just don't, I don't know about you, but I cannot remember shit anymore.
Yeah.
If it didn't happen yesterday,
it
was 20 years ago.
Yeah. There's a
weird
big lapse right there.
thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not kidding. Every day, it's like, hey, didn't we do this yesterday? I'm like, shit, that was yesterday.
It just seems so weird, man. God, that's
we had practice 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It feels like 2 weeks ago to me.
That's fair, because you can't keep track of time. That's just the joys of getting older. Just time. When you're younger, time seems to be drawn out like a blade. Now, when you get older, you're trying to recoup time. It's just like,
I agree with you.
it just amends, and you're just like, I got nothing. I don't know what
I saw a really, really, like, I don't know, it impacted me, man. I saw a guy talking about that. He's like, the biggest failure of man is that we always think we have enough time do it tomorrow or something. He was saying.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not telling you to be, financially irresponsible or anything, but do what you need to do right now. Go on those trips. Like, be with the people that you love. You know what I mean? Like, if you could save up to go do a trip, go do the trip. Don't like put it off.
100%. There's this book hiding on my Amazon wish list called Absolute Zero.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the principle of it, is the idea of like, how do you find that balance of dying with no money?
That we always think we. There we go. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Because like, once you're dead, you can't spend that money. You can't take that trip.
This is true,
And so
man.
what's that balance?
You're
true.
taking the trip down the Styx.
That's true.
The river Styx?
But that only costs you 2 coins. And I think the Riverman provides that.
Yeah.
Quote me on that.
Didn't they used to put coins on people's eyes for that purpose?
That was for the purpose of it,
Yeah.
For the toll for the person that does the boat and crossing for the river Styx.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what that guy's name was?
If the wife is listening right now, she will throw it in the chat because I know that she is that type of person that just will constantly just
She
throw out
says-
random facts.
I get wink tattooed on my eyelids is what she said, is what I would choose. And she says, such dapper gentlemen in their suits. They do. They look great, man. Jeff Reese says, is it Rise? Or it's I don't remember, Jeff. I'm sorry. He said knuckle butter.
Knuckle butter.
That's right. Is that akin to a beaver grease?
Bro. Like you try to think of something dope and cool to put on on your eyelids, just when you blink, your room's like, what does that mean? You can go into like a really rich story. Nope. Dick Jones.
Dick Jones.
We were having this conversation on Wednesday about like, at some point you start tattooing and like you forget the whole like, what does that tattoo mean? And you're like, it's a fucking Texas Chainsaw Cat. Like, what do you want me to tell you the meaning of this is? It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Bro, I've been researching.
Danielle D says, Karen is the name of the ferryman of the river Styx.
But it's spelled different. Is it Karen or Sharon?
The fact that I heard that in my earphone, that was wicked.
Yeah. It's just a new trick that I got.
That is so cool.
That's awesome.
Oh, it stretched it out though. I did a fancy little chat box, but it's it's stretching out so that people can't see it very well.
So it's funny is it translated as Karen, and then I just immediately pictured like this Grim Reaper type with like a blonde.
You know what? I'm calling the cops if you guys get any
your supervisor.
What? So that would be Lucifer, like himself, like what would Karen like? I need to speak to the manager. You're like, hey boss, yo.
Oh, that's funny,
bro. No,
dude. Ages ago, I worked a job where I was the store manager. And I was like, I don't know, 22, right? Should not have been the store manager. And someone pulled that on me. I want to speak to your manager. And I got to have that Hollywood moment of, well, guess what?
Yeah.
I am the manager.
Yeah. My manager I used to work at a porn shop, and my manager would say, you're the manager. And I'm like, but I'm not the manager. And she'd be like, I don't want to fucking hear it, is what she would say. She's like, just handle it. As long as it doesn't get violent, you're fine. And I'm like, okay, there were some bad moments, man. I went through a showcase. Like, you're looking at the watches. I went try to go over that. My big ass going over one of them. I'd done it before. Chasing a guy out who stole something.
Says, my fave thing I saw online about the meaning of tattoos. What does that tattoo mean? It means at one point, you had an extra.
An extra what?
An extra what?
An extra what? Come on, speak and spell.
That is so wicked. Does it on the playback, not the live version, but the playback? Does it say the? You're
gonna hear it all.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
That's gonna be so dope because we're both all of us are just like quiet, listening. Like, what is it gonna say?
Yeah.
And then because before you with your,
it's gonna fuck up all the conversations.
Says,
See.
Asterisk at one point I had an extra $200.
Oh, an extra $200 is what she said. She put the dollar sign in front of it, and it said $2. That's hilarious.
But it's funny how polite we all are for the fucking speak and spell robot. As soon as it pops up, we all just instantly shut up and just like, what is it going to say? Ridiculous.
What does it say?
So funny. Oh, I'm pushing it right into the camera. That's funny.
God, people are weird.
That's so funny. I just saw a guy who had he flew simulator drone stuff.
Dude.
And he had that going on while he was flying drones so he could keep up with the chat. But dude, it was like just talking normal sentences because, oh, so-and-so says, hey, I really love that. And then he always said.
Danielle D says.
See, we just
I wasn't trying to be dramatic. I'm a person, David.
Oh, that's so amazing. I really like this feature now. This is really fun, dude.
The fact that it's I'm a person.
You know, I was wondering if someone would come onto the chat and talk shit. And now it's like it doesn't matter if they do. 'Cause it'll be fucking hilarious.
Hilarious, exactly.
It'll be hilarious.
You guys fucking suck.
Yeah.
Thank you, Speak and
Like,
Spell.
I don't know how I can even get mad when Speak and Spell tells me I suck.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fantastic. I really love it. Yeah, I saw some drone dude do it, and it was hilarious because I was trying to figure out how to work this. I messed up one of my drones. So I was like, dude, my board just went crap on me. And he's like, what board? And I type it in. Ritual Man, his podcast says, and then it told him, you know, and he's flying drones, and he's like, oh, what you got to do is you got to hook it up, and you got to do this, and it should work. And then he's back off into the whole, I mean, he's flying drones all over the place, dude. He's just ridiculous good. Yeah, super fun. But I had to add it. I had to figure out how to do it.
Oh, that's so cool.
And what's funny is it shows the last person's comment right in the corner. Plus,
The
You got that
chat on
little
the right
window there.
side.
yeah, it's just like a.
Dude,
It's pretty cool.
that's very cool.
I like it, man.
I'm more impressed by this drone guy because I've got a drone too, and like I've really got to like be focused on.
Now, do you have? Is it a line of sight drone or is it a FPV drone where you're wearing the goggles?
No, it has like this thing where I plug my cell phone into the remote.
Yeah,
and then I use the
that would be
camera on that.
it would be considered
Is that-
that's a line of sight drone because
That's a line of sight drone.
Yep, and
Okay.
that they try to make that way. Like DJI has now has done it to where you have to be connected. It has to be connected to the phone. If you're wearing goggles now, so the goggles have to be connected to the phone so they can track where you are at all times, like the pilot and the drone itself. Because the FPVs, you know what I mean. You're in goggles, you can't see. They don't even want you to fly without a spotter either.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That
So
makes sense.
this is what's goofy about it, though, is there's like a big thing going on with the drone community and the FCC.
Or it could be the FCC, the FCC, or it could be FA. Either or.
Because they have to. So they're lumping everything into one category. So people that fly drones now that build their own drones. So if I buy something from a company at this moment right now, it has to have a GPS tracker on it.
Yeah.
So what the companies are doing is they're selling you a full drone that you have to put together, or that you have to get that piece and add it to that drone to be able to fly it. That's what they want to do.
Sure.
So all the hobbyists that have, little tiny drones, you're not going to put a fucking tracking device on that little baby drone. You know what I mean? So
Right.
That's the thing. So the people who fly FPV and do freestyle and do, there's so many people that in the drone community, they're like, you should get your 107 right away so you can do photo shoots and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So, and they can't mess with you, and you get training,
Of course.
all that stuff. It's fun. I mean, I just got back into it, and I spent a ridiculous amount of money.
Bro.
Right out the gate, I spent, let me see here,
Oh, Lord.
about $2,000.
I can see that pretty easily. I mean, just for a good mid-level drone, you're looking at around
Well, I
1K.
got 3.
Bro.
Yeah.
So what do you have then? DJIs? Or?
I have one DJI, which is the Avata, which is it's their their line or their FPV line.
Sure.
And then I have a bunch of little ones that I fly around the house.
Right on. Yeah, I've got the Mavic Air 2, I think, which is that mid-level one.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
still
enough
good.
For fucking around.
Fun.
It's
So much fun. I've crashed all of them.
I haven't crashed.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, just take your time. Don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was with. Oh my God, why can't I think of his name? John. I was with John.
Wheeler?
So I was with him on a Promodal shoot.
Oh.
And I pulled my drone out, and I was so excited to be flying around him. I almost crashed into the model. I crashed it into the fucking wall. I didn't break anything, but it was in the dirt. I mean, and I shut it off before I stopped recording, so then it just erased everything. So I had all these cool
Charles
shots.
Wagner says, these dudes look sharp. Danielle D says, Mr. D, do you have any desire to get a drone?
Do you want that responsibility? You know what the contract you have to sign is to just to operate the damn thing?
Yeah.
So, Mrs. D.
No, nowadays.
I do not want that responsibility, and I do. If I have $2,000, I'm literally thinking of like, if I just save
musical
one more grand, if I just
know exactly what you're talking about.
If I just save one more grand, if I have a total of $3,000, because he ruined me.
Yeah.
I am a sucker for PV.
Yeah.
6505 plus, love him to death in EVH. Like it's just Eddie Van Halen. You can't go wrong with that amp.
Sure.
All of a sudden, he's just like, here, let's record a song. I'm like, okay. Well, I thought he was gonna mic me up. No, I'm not gonna do that. Just come here. And he plugs me into an amp.
Danielle D says, the Paul Reed Smith.
Oh, my Paul Smith guitar. No.
I plugged you in.
Eventually. But I don't remember the name of the amp sim that you did.
It's a Soldano 100.
Bro.
Which is like a 3K amp.
Bro. Yeah. I was literally playing through the song that I wrote, and I'm like, this is fantastic. I thought I was set with my 6505 plus and my EVH at home.
Now,
I'm
Dave,
like,
you've got it. You like... you like tones. You mess with a lot of stuff,
tones.
right?
It's so much fun. Like,
you have a ton of gear too, right?
Oh yeah.
Bro, that's an
Now
understatement.
from all of the different bands that you've been in, so you have
kept all of it.
Since so you have all kinds of
stuff.
MIDI stuff.
I swear, I have 3 synthesizers. I have 4 complete bass rigs at this point. I don't know.
Dude, that new one you bought. How does that sound? It's beautiful, dude.
Godly.
It's white.
Godly. It's white.
It is.
I had to drive to Davenport, Iowa to get it.
Dude, that thing has to sound amazing. It
sounds
looks
incredible.
beautiful.
It sounded dope.
Really.
But the thing is,
super thick.
Super thick, super beefy. It's
bite.
so loud, it scares me. Wow. And I've been playing for
long
play
time. Loud
I play
anyway.
loud anyway, but
Yeah.
I just started inching that master volume up, and I was like,
That is just funny.
oh, I can just keep on
To
going.
hear you say that.
Yeah, this is the thing. I'm
scary.
scared. I'm scared.
That is funny to me, man.
But the thing
Holy
is, like,
shit.
but it never ends. Like, because your ear gets used to one thing.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's bad.
Yeah.
But then you're like, well, what if I just got this other thing?
Dude, I've been listening to like a lot of old thrash that I used to listen to as a kid.
Sure.
And the tone is so horrible.
Yeah.
You know,
I know exactly what you're talking
I
about.
don't mind things being tuned to E or C or, things like that. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But with a paper thin tone, and people really, really like back that old tone, and I just don't like it.
It's so harsh.
Oh,
it just
man.
it grinds your ears in all the wrong way.
I mean, even the some of the breakdowns and the things that I really enjoyed about that old music, it just now that I've heard tones that shake the entire universe, you know what I mean? You're just like, man, just re-record that.
Absolutely. Well, and we're at this really interesting time. I won't say who it was, but we were talking about it at the last show I went to at North Star Bar.
Yeah.
And he was saying, in 10 years, everyone will just have computers for their amps. And I was part of the early fractal wave when I was in SMB.
Right.
It still hasn't happened. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's where it's like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to do an emulator? Or do you want to have a tube amp?
Right.
Because either way, you still got to know how to dial it. You can't just plug it in and
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
And back then, during the thrash years, you had one goal.
Yeah.
Be fucking loud.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
Tone
yeah.
wasn't even a consideration.
Yeah, well, it just seems like, everybody's trying to go a little bit lower. It gives it a little bit more beef to it, you know what I mean? A little thicker.
Yeah.
The settings I have on my 65, I'm absolutely in love with, and I have been complimented by David that he's just like, thank you for not fiddling with your knobs, like you're just right there. And I'm like, it took me a long time to get that tone.
Danielle D says, hell yeah, SMB is my jam.
I enjoyed SMB a lot.
Bro, like when we'll get to that conversation in a moment, but when David showed
Danielle D says, there is a delay from when the comment posts and when Mr. Speak and Spell decides to interrupt.
I love it. That's even better.
Oh my God.
It's so cool, dude.
But learning that David was in SMB and also Mitch, I was just like, do you have any of their stuff? And he's just like, yeah, of course I do.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
goes to the he's got like a case of like a mountain of his CDs of it.
Yeah.
And he just hands me 4 of them. And he goes, go.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I listened to it at work. I'm like, this what?
Dude, it's satanic circus music, man. That's what it is. It's just
It's electronic core.
Dude, the first time that
bro.
we played a show with them in Eau Claire like a long time ago, and John came out and made fun of us for like 20 minutes in between each tune. He would, yeah, I know we're not the, and he just let us have it, and I was in the back going, "Fuck you," just yelling at him, And it's just John. That's how John is.
What's funny though is we played Dickless, and I don't know if it's a well-known fact, but John's on that song.
Oh, really?
At the very end for that, like, "Are you a god? No, then die." He's on there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because My Zero was still going, and I was like, "Dude, it's the Ghostbusters song. Do you want to just like throw down a part real quick?" He's like, "Yeah, kind of." Like, come on, let's do it. Because like everything's recorded in my basement.
Yeah.
We do it all there. It's like, you want to record something, we'll just plug it in.
Awesome.
Let's go.
That's the way to do it, man. Yeah. I think more people should do that shit.
Yeah.
Like, how bad is the delay? Here we go.
Jeffrey Rise says, I am not just a voice in a box. I am a real boy.
That's right. You are, sir. You've got fancy pants, too. I love your pants, Jeffrey.
Bro.
That's so good.
So how did this all come to be? I mean, you were doing your thing, and you were kind of checking things out and talking to new bands, and...
Well, it was when...
Jeffrey Rise says, sorry, had to do it once.
I love it. I love it.
Don't be sorry. It's amusing the hell out of me hearing Speak and Spell through
Absolutely
all of this.
amazing. I love it.
I mean, it definitely throws it for, not a monkey in the wrench, but definitely for like perks your ears, and you're like, huh?
Yeah.
And then you're just like, okay. The fact that that Jeff and Danielle are making a good jokes out of it, and just like Speak and Spell, I am a real boy, and we hear it on that end.
It's
I think
perfect.
it
I
is
love
very extremely perfect.
I love it.
But no, when I was with Forever and Gray, and things in their personal lives, we were just going separate directions, which is normal. And I'm like, I just had to make a decision for myself. And all the cats are still cool.
Yeah.
I love them to death. I haven't talked to them in a little bit because they've been
busy
with their personal lives, and I'm just like, it is what it is. And so for a little bit, I got scooped up with some other cats, and that just lasted for about 9-10 months. That just didn't play out the way it should. And I'm sitting on my couch playing Destiny.
Yeah.
Wife's next to me, and I'm literally in a very bad mood.
Right.
Thinking like, maybe I should just take some time off with music. Maybe I should just, because clearly things are not lining up.
So you're about to make a foolish mistake.
Not a foolish mistake. It was a conversation to have, asking that question, like, do you really want to keep going? And if you can't ask yourself that, if you can't ask yourself that question and answer it honestly, then I'm like, But I was in a very bad mood.
Yeah.
Danielle was doing her best to cheer me up.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, ping, on my phone, and it's from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Wolf Mask, wanted guitar player. And I'm like, that I'm having a conversation with myself whether or not I should just take some time off, just kind of take some time for myself just to reevaluate, recoup, and all that type of stuff. But then I saw that, and I was like, honey, what should I do? And she's like in her game. Like when she's in a video, video game in her phone, everything just zones away.
One second. I'm in the middle of this.
Yep.
And I wish my wife did that.
No, well, I don't know if she answered right then and there.
Sure.
But she eventually was like, I mean, you could at least have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fair. That's just a good. And that's when I messaged you. I'm just like, hey, are you in tight with these cats? Like, can you put in a good word? And then I'm like, fuck it. And that was one of my exact words. And I just shrugged, and I messaged David, and I'm like, hi, Mr. David. I don't know if you remember me, but we had a conversation outside of
Club Underground or something?
Studio B when it was tried his last show.
This is the loop.
Oh, yeah.
This is the loop where it was your fault.
Okay.
When we started, I said, he's in the band, it's your fault. It's because I went to that Try to show.
Okay.
And he walked up to me. He's like, hey, if you remember me, but like my band opened for you guys at 7th Street.
Yeah.
And I
that
was
one of Tried his last shows, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was their last one.
It was their second to the last.
Sad,
their last
dude.
one was in Duluth.
They were awesome.
And
I
could not go to that one because another band that...
God, I love those guys.
I'd miss them
they were fun.
a lot. But yeah, it was just outside that show, and I walked up to him. We had a really good conversation, and that's where it kind of sparked that whole thing. I'm just like, okay, instead of me just jumping headfirst like I normally do, I'd need to take the past experiences of what I learned and apply here. So I was like, I literally asked them out on a date. I was like, yo,
It's true.
Can we get dinner just so we can have a conversation to see if our personalities jive well? And he's just like, yeah, that's great. And I'm like, what place do you like? And then he introduced me a place called 50s Grill.
Oh, nice. Where's that at?
Brooklyn Park.
Oh, nice.
Brooklyn Park.
Dude,
Good
it
stuff.
was
I couldn't think of anything. I'm like, what's between Minneapolis and wherever the hell it is you live?
Big Lake.
Oh, that's far.
Yeah.
It's not even that far. It's
It's
literally
not far from me. It's like right down the street from me. But
It's like literally you just get on 94, you put on a podcast. Oh crap, the podcast just started, but I'm already here.
Right.
Oh, okay.
there you go.
And so he said 50s Grill, and I'm like, and I Googled it, and I'm like, cool. I'm very notorious for showing up early. I actually beat David there.
Right.
Yeah.
I messaged David, and I'm like, I had this niche for being early, a little bit more than normal people, just so I have time.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm the same way. I appreciate that you're an on-time person. I'm like,
Me too. I hate
I've
it.
Danielle D says, Grieg, if you haven't been to 50s Grill, you must go.
It's close. It's not far from me. I'm going to have to check it out.
it's really good.
Yeah.
So just burgers and fries?
Burgers, fries,
Shakes.
milkshakes.
Think of old school 50s. Boom.
Dude, my wife loves like powder milkshakes.
Oh, that's where you go.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where you go.
Okay, my wife loves
You'll
that
love
stuff.
it. It's classic. Just
It was really-
classic. You know, I like the place.
Yeah.
Because it's just cheesy Americana.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it's
Poodle
true.
skirts and all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back to the
That's what
Future.
Yep.
Back to the
Back to the
Future.
Future stuff.
Yeah, Back to the
Danielle D
Future.
says, so much more.
So much more.
So much more. I love that there's a delay because we have no idea what she meant so much more to.
I know.
I think it was talking about the you'll like them,
milkshakes.
the
Yeah.
milkshakes, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
so much more.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
that's just my assumption, but I'm pretty
You
sure.
guys are kinetically connected. Or but never mind.
But yeah, then
I think I know what word you were going for. I was
Yes.
going to try and save you.
Telekinetically connected?
telekinesis.
There you go.
I'll
Something like
accept
that.
it. I'll accept it.
Ding, 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 ding. You got it.
Oh my god.
But then we got to the place, and Mitch showed up, and then we sat down, and he was running through. This was the number one thing he said to me, and I took the most curiosity. I'm like, I wonder if I can do it. He's like, this is law. This law will not be broken unless you seriously, like, this has to happen. No song can be over 2 minutes.
That's pretty cool.
Did you say that, or is that
That
me?
was you.
Oh, okay. You said Mitch said the law.
Yeah,
Mitch showed
And I
up.
was like, wait a minute.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Either
pay-
way.
I-
Yeah, that is the law.
that was the law. And I thought about it for a second because I'm used to writing 3, 4,
Yeah.
sometimes 5-minute songs.
Sure.
But then I'm like, can I condense
Oh, you
the
can.
material I
can.
wrote?
You can make fucking 300 songs in that time frame. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but out of the 300, how many are good?
Where did it come from? Like, how did you now in all of the projects that you've been in are pushing that boundary to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did you that was the sweet spot for you?
It was deliberate. There's a band called The Locust.
Okay.
The Locust doesn't have any song over 2 minutes.
Yeah.
In fact, when they start knocking on 2 minutes, it's shocking. Most of their songs are a minute or less.
Yeah.
And I've been in bands, at least 2 now,
Yeah.
where sometimes there are 7-minute songs. And there's nothing wrong with that. It
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
But it's also like, get to the point.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where I heard it, but it's some musical podcast, and they were talking about this other band, and they were like, they just get right to the point, cut the shit, get to the riffs, and get out.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, oh, so this is like a bank robbery.
Yeah.
That's what this is. We're going to smash the glass, steal the
That's-
diamonds, and run.
That's what makes me so excited about Deterioration.
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
them dudes. They're done in like a half hour.
Yep.
But
Yep.
it's like 12 songs.
And that was the thing. When the band first started playing and we were doing shows, it just confused the fuck out of people because
Yeah.
we would go in. We only had 6 songs.
Yeah.
You do the math on that. That's a 10-minute set.
Right.
We'd show up and go bam, 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 bam. Thanks. Good night.
Yeah.
And they'd be like,
Wait a second. Yeah.
"Do you have any more?" Nope. Bye.
I literally thought that you got that from Nails. Huh.
No.
I just learned something today. All right.
That's very
Because that's
cool.
what
But
he
that
that's what
was
he
the law.
showed me. That's what David's like, have you ever heard of Nails? I go, no. He goes,
Good
here.
band.
And that That's what intrigued me the most, because the heaviness of nails.
Dude, they just punch you square in the face, man.
That's
That's
the
what I
goal.
liked about Pig Destroyer.
It was more
when I
like
first
punch
heard
you
it.
in the balls.
Pig Destroyer is
bro.
the same thing as Locust and Nails, where their songs are all clocking. If it breaks a minute, it's an anomaly in their set.
Yeah.
But that's the idea, though. Get in, get out, get done.
Dude, it's perfect,
But there's
man.
a problem, though. Once you start doing that and you watch other bands play, even bands you like,
Yeah.
you're just sitting here like, it's been about 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Are you fucking
Really?
done
Yeah,
yet? And like,
yeah.
it's so strange because like it gives you ADD.
Yeah.
And like, and I'm not kidding. Like, I watch bands I like.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Holy shit,
fuck,
really?
it's fucking late. Like, are you done yet? You've been playing for 25 minutes.
Dude, did they just play 18 songs?
Yeah.
That's their third song, dude.
And then I was at North Star a couple weeks ago, and Tiger Blue pulled it on me of where their set must have been 20 minutes, and I was super into it. And they're like, "All right, we're done, bye." And I'm like,
Come on,
"It's
man.
only 10:15,
You're
guys."
You're edging me. I'm
Yeah.
right to the edge.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah. You're right there, dude. I was sat. The last time I saw you guys play, it was just mayhem.
Yeah.
Like super fast, done.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is awesome. Everybody was still like wiping sweat. You know what I mean? Everybody was moshing around. Having a good time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is that still with Eric?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Bro, you want to... I puked twice. Bro, no, the first show that I was officially going to play with them at North Star in January, I puked twice before because, oh, by the way, Adam, Eric's going to be there.
Yeah.
The dude that wrote the material, great.
Yeah,
I have...
Yeah.
Okay, well...
Did he comment on it or anything?
Dude, he said I did
well.
He said I did great.
Good.
He's just like, you took it and you made it your own because I heard a little of the different things that you did. And I'm like, that was cool. And I'm like, oh, that's so, oh, good.
Well,
wow.
I told you that, man, that when you just to reach out to them because they're all good guys, they're good cats, and I figured you'd fit really, really well with these guys. Cause
They dragged it. They dragged my audition for a full month.
They should have.
And
we did.
That's the way it should be.
And I wasn't upset with it or anything. I was just getting so excited. You know how I go with I'm excited. I just bolt as fast as I possibly can.
Yeah.
So every time that I was like, when I run with you guys, sorry, I haven't been offered that yet. And I would literally say that to David because I was so excited. And I'm just like, no, I got to pull it back. I gotta let them,
Yeah, let me in.
Well, and sometimes, too, like, I remember one band I was in, like, I was playing with them for 6 months or something like that before they finally said, oh, do you want to be in the band? I'm like, I thought I already was.
Yeah.
But I was there as a fill-in.
Yeah.
And I accepted as a fill-in.
Yeah.
But once you start coming to practice every week and you played, like, 4 or 5 shows, it's like, so am I in the band now? Like, did I
We
pass
still
the
have to
test?
talk about it. We haven't even
Yeah, I know,
talked about
right?
it.
But no, but that's part of it, though. It's just like, one practice is not enough to get to know
So
a
on
musician.
your side, when he came to try out, and I mean, did you send him a few tracks? Were you learning stuff right away, or did you?
Did you, David? Did you send me a few tracks?
I'm trying to remember because like wasn't it a situation where I said, "You pick a song, we pick a song," or something like that?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
But you gave me no tabs.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
we'll just try it. I'm like, no, I need something, anything.
No
And
one ever gave me tabs.
that's why you like
That's
you
true.
didn't like that.
Yeah.
And then for the next person, you're like, okay, this didn't happen to me, so this next person, I'm gonna help because I remember how much that sucked. Luckily, my brain went off like, oh, they're on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then I finally was able to find the song that I wanted to play, and I believe it was at the North Star bar. So I was able to watch David's fingers. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I'm able to see. And then I'm like, okay, I got to map it out. And then I was able to figure it out. I was off by 2 notes off like a few frets here and there. But the gist of it, I got it. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you so much.
Wow, man, you took the initiative to just figure it out.
I don't like flying blind.
Yeah, but you know what? It also proves something to them too. You know that you're willing to do that. And a lot of times, a lot of people will just go, "Hey, they're not going to give me the music. Fuck it." Yep. It's ADD for musicians where they just can't hunker down and do it.
I'm all about communication, talking about how this works and feels. You're just like, yeah, if he wants it, he'll do it. I'm like, no, I don't like that.
But Greg said's exactly right. That's what I was going for. Is I was looking for like, is the person we bring into this band gonna work?
Yeah.
Because it's hard joining a band.
I know.
I should know. I've joined like 3 dozen at this point.
Right.
But like, you need to go in and like prove that This is your material. I'm learning.
Yeah.
And so, like, no matter what, I'll impart my flavor on it.
Yeah.
But it's your craft.
Yeah.
And by learning it and doing well,
Respect.
I show respect.
For sure.
Right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And that's what you did.
But I also say it too, because
Yeah.
I'm very much an honest person and wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah. But actions speak louder than words.
That's
very
true.
Every
That's true.
time.
That's
Every
true.
time. And I'm not kidding. Like, I've had tryouts with people where, you know, and they were talking good guitar players, but they maybe spent all their time in their bedroom.
Yeah.
And then you put them into a band setting,
It's mush.
shut down.
Yeah.
And it's like I've watched their YouTube videos, and
Yeah.
they're like, you know, and I'm like, oh, they'll be
I
fine.
used to know this drummer, man, that was just incredible. I mean, he did drumline. He did all this stuff when he was younger.
Yeah.
And he picked up a drum set and he played a trap kit, and he made a trap kit sound just epic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a little bitty thing.
Yeah.
And then his brother helped him get another kit, and it was just gigantic. And then I was like, I really like how he plays. He could play with everything all the time, just blasting in the background. But when you put other musicians to feel that vibe, he just would go, and it was so painful to watch, because the rest of the band would leave and he would play just to practice. And it was like, dude, what the fuck happened there? Why did you not? And that was it. It's
It's a
the
totally different thing.
Yeah.
They're two different things. And that's
sonically too, you know?
sonically, but working with Mitch as long as I have, because Mitch and I have
Oh, you probably know what
we've
he's going
done
to do.
3 bands together.
Yeah.
And we had happen where we like to do these fun little challenges. And so for one of the songs we're working on, Mitch said, I'm going to program all the drums, and you guys have to write the music to it.
Right.
Which was fun.
And I'm sitting here working on it, and I'm trying to figure out on my own. And this one particular part, which I won't be able to verbally articulate, but it's like a swingy boo-doo-boo or something like that. And like, I hit exactly on, you were close, but then we were listening to our different parts together, and Mitch was like, yeah, that's exactly it. He's like, that's exactly what I wanted to hear you do. And I'm like, yeah, because we've been playing together for over a decade.
Right.
And that's how you get connected as musicians.
Yeah.
Look
That's
at
a
band
whole
like
nother
Im-
language,
Look at a
man.
band like Impaler.
Yeah.
Those guys have been playing together for so long now, and they're such good friends that
Yeah.
that band is so tight.
Yeah. Ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
And interchangeable members, too. You know what I mean? Guys have left for like 10 years and come back, and it's the same
Exactly.
amazing band. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And
Such a
and
fun
you-
band.
And that's, you just nailed it, though. It was like, just because you can shred and be super technical doesn't mean you can jive with a band. But also, too, just because you can jive with a band doesn't mean you can shred.
Right.
What matters more? It depends.
Yeah.
It depends what
Feeling.
that was my saving.
Feeling is my thing. It's
That
all
was
about-
my saving grace.
Yeah.
Because I can somewhat. I can't shred. I can barely do Eric's leads to
Yeah.
what he wrote, but I know what I am very extremely comfortable with is the flow and the feeling of like, because like when we were, I think it was Waterfront. When I said I just need to hear where Mitch is going for that one part, and then once I heard, I know where I am. I know exactly where. I'm comfortable with it now. Just gotta learn the breakdown. It was still a little choppy. It was. I'm like, I still need to focus more attention on it.
But you've gotten to have the fun lesson that I've had with every band I've joined. Every time you join a band, and it's a new set of people, you have to up your game.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, oh my God, this part is so hard, but you have to figure out where do you weave into this existing structure of a band, because sometimes that doesn't happen at all.
Yeah.
And then you get just chaos.
Well, I tried out for Glutton for Punishment a long time ago, right before Al joined, and I really wanted to do it, but there was like that first singer, and Dan's a good guy, like solid cat.
Yeah.
I just wasn't feeling the way it was put together, and I had such a hard time like going. I felt like I was in a cover band. I'm playing this other shit. I didn't write it. They had a bunch of shows coming up, and I felt like. He's like, here, learn 6 songs, and we can play the rest of the summer. And I'm like, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
I'm worried about it. You know what I mean? Like, but I regret it. I regret not jamming with those guys because they've had so many stellar musicians come in and out of that group. You know,
For sure.
And but it's always great to see Al do his thing too.
Well, it's all about your feel.
Yeah.
Because there have been bands I've been in where I enjoyed the people and I enjoyed the music, but just not feeling it anymore.
Yeah.
And that happens though.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes it's just, you know what? I've done this long enough. Time to go.
Yeah. I've been there a million times too.
Or, it's the other side where it's fucking toxic and terrible, and you're like, how the fuck do I get out of this chicken shit outfit? Yeah. And that's rare. It doesn't happen too often, but every now and then.
Yeah.
Every now.
I always dread those conversations coming up because you know that there's always bad ones. You're just like, ooh, there we go.
Yeah, but that's just it's just one of those things you just need to rip the Band-Aid off and just for your own mental health's sake. Bro, no.
Yeah.
No, I do. But no, I was extremely excited and happy that when they after the month.
Dude, you kept it from me. I couldn't believe it. You kept it from me. So no, it was crazy because the project before, everybody else that was in the project was telling me about it, and I'm going, I wonder why Adam didn't tell me. And then it was like, and then you just like you jumped out of that thing, and then we talked about the Wolf Mask thing, and then. I didn't know if he joined or not. I didn't reach out. I didn't want to push it if he didn't. You know what I mean? I figured I would see. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, he's fucking in the band. I didn't know about it.
You could have asked.
I know.
My brain was so focused on the material.
That's one of those rules, though. Yeah, just like sometimes you should.
Okay, for the record, Mr. Greg, I sincerely apologize for not telling you. But my brain at the time was, you have to learn, because this is a completely different type of structure.
Oh, yeah.
Mitch's Dillinger Escape Plan nails just completely off weird tempo, which I absolutely adore because it's so much fun.
Right.
And David he's got the flow, but then he'll also hold a note or two just a half a measure or a measure longer. And my brain's like, what?
Yeah.
I'm a traditional metalcore 4/4, so to learn this was like, okay, I have to literally reprogram a lot of different things, but my strumming has never been a problem. It's the flow of making sure that I'm paying homage to Eric and not screwing up what he wrote, and then just putting my own little flavor on it. But that was so weird for me because I'm not used to songs being under 2 minutes. So I literally have to.
You know what I used to hate the most as a kid were live records. I hated live records because I was. Music to me was that studio thing where it was just solid. There was no improvisation on any of the stuff. And then I became a Hendrix fan, and it's like every time I heard a song, it was different.
Danielle D says, not to interrupt, but I thought the reason Adam didn't talk about the last project was that he was told to keep it on the down low.
No, all the rest of them told me that was what was funny if that was the case. But that was the thing with Jimi Hendrix was I couldn't stand the fact that the songs weren't exactly the same as.
Really?
Yeah. Even with Kiss, I was a huge Kiss fan as a kid. Heard the live albums, and I was just like, oh, that's not the way I heard it,
For sure.
And you want it spot on, you know what I mean?
I do.
And that was my thing when I would see a cover band. I would go, ooh, so close. Oh, there goes a solo. No, I can't listen to this. And that was the thing. I always hated cover bands. I was like, there was no, you weren't allowed to break the parameters. The biggest infraction ever, okay? I'm about to lose my shit right now, okay? Zach Sabbath. That's Zach Wilde playing Black Sabbath tunes. First Avenue is playing riffs. Sounds great. He's doing his little thing on them, and then all of a sudden he goes into the crowd with a long chord and he's playing a huge solo over a Sabbath tune, and I was like, nah. I wanted to run over there and just unplug him and go back on the stage, play the fucking riffs right. I mean, it blew me. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was like, Iommi riffs? You're gonna do that to Iommi riffs? I was so mad, dude. I was in the crowd just going.
See, and that's a great example we were talking about before with being technical and the feel.
Yeah.
Because Zach's got the technical, but Iommi has the feel.
Yeah.
And once you put a technical guy over the other thing, something evaporates.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of the room loved it.
Yeah.
But your brain was like gear crunch.
Oh, dude, it was so bad.
I'm sure.
So bad.
I'm sure. And I hear that 100%.
Yeah.
But then sometimes,
yeah,
like if you ever listen to The Clash,
yeah,
they have a couple live albums out, and like they'll just go on a jam thing, and Strummer will just do his thing, and it's like
free.
This I like, but you have the reggae feel there, and reggae is like that.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised Hendrix though, because a lot of the magic of Hendrix is when he's just
going off.
He's just doing his thing.
Yeah. But that was the thing. I just it was something.
Totally.
this is the album that changed me for Hendrix, and is really weird because years and years I was already into Hendrix, but I had never heard Band of Gypsies. And when I heard Band of Gypsies as a live album, it's a double. They recorded New Year's Eve and New Year's Day at the Fillmore East, I believe it was.
Okay.
That's where it was all recorded.
Yeah,
they revamped it to release the album, but it was like 2 days they recorded the full thing and then revamped everything. That album right there with those three players just absolutely changed my whole outlook on live albums and on Hendrix as a whole. Like, because it just changed the whole dynamic of he went back to his R&B roots. He had so much blues and groove to it, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Where he was playing with guys from, England, and it was just that, rock and roll thing. I mean, Noel Redding was a guitar player, became a bass player,
Well, and sometimes live albums, like a live album only comes out to sell units.
Right.
It's the
Right.
only reason it exists. And like I can think of one live album in particular that I thought for sure would be like all the rage was Blink-182 did a live album. It's not a good live album.
Right.
It's really not. But then I'm like, then Green Day did one like a couple years later. But the Green Day one actually captured the feel of the concert.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen Green Day,
Oh yeah, they put it on.
Billy puts it on. Like he'll stop a song for 3 minutes just to go, hey.
Yeah.
And it's the cheesiest thing ever, but it works, and you can feel the energy.
I was just talking about the band Fishbone. I seen them at the Mirage, and I became friends with them, and they had come on tour. We partied together a whole bunch. Anyway, I watched Angelo Moore crowd surf all the way over, and at the Mirage, they used to have this bar that was kind of kitty corner from the stage. So they had a long bar here, and then like a little pit, the sound system, and then there was another bar right here. So he went from the stage here, rolled the crowd all the way over, and they had like an awning over the top of that bar. He was on top of that, and he was doing donuts, cigarettes, coffee. And that's the chant throughout the whole song. So he's getting the whole crowd to go, donuts, cigarettes, coffee. And then he goes off, and then the band kicks in, and that's what he's doing on top of this fucking bar. His little mohawk going crazy. He's got his fucking cane going. It was absolutely insane. And that was the gig for it. If you can capture that vibe, you know what I'm saying? I remember sitting there doing security, just hairs on my head, just sticking straight up, going, wow, this is amazing. And everybody's going apeshit, So much fun.
Dude.
Yeah. Fishbone is one of my favorite bands ever.
That's awesome. No kidding.
Yeah. Bad Brains, Fishbone.
But then sometimes you get bands where the live show doesn't ever do the album justice.
Oh my God, yes.
You get the opposite of that.
Helmet.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I was front row for Helmet the last time they were here at the Varsity.
How was that?
Incredible.
Was it?
Yeah.
Were they really into it?
They were way into it.
Dude, when I saw them on the Meantime, it was right when Betty had dropped. So it was at the tail end of Meantime.
Yeah.
And I saw them with Living Color, and it was the last date of the show. Normally everybody's excited. They're going to go get drunk, have a good time.
Yeah.
It was the most boring show I had ever seen. I was just like, wow. I did not like it at all. Maybe they were just exhausted. I don't know what it was, and that could be the thing, but
I won bonus points because we were here, and the guy to the right of me was I've had too much to drink, and I'm going to keep trying to climb the stage.
Oh Jesus!
And so, without being too aggressive, whenever he did, I was just kind of like, kept pushing him, and I watched the guys in Helmet kind of talk to each other and saying, "Man, fuck that guy, fuck him."
Yeah.
And when the set was done, I always try to see if I can't grab a set list or a pick, but the bass player was like, I saw what you were doing. And he's like, just take the pick, dude. And I'm like, thanks, man. And I'm like, can I have the set list too? And he said, sure.
No, you're pushing it.
No, but he was like, dude, thank you for keeping him off the stage.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't tackling, but it's just hey, calm down. Yeah, you're fine.
I want to say it was the Bloodhound Gang that I was on stage for. And I was the guitar player. He was such a cool dude, but he was like, you big guy, come here, you're with me. And I'm like, okay, what am I doing? He goes, see that guitar pedal? And I said, yeah. And he goes, anybody touches that guitar pedal or gets close, fucking murder him. And I go, wait a second. Okay. I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'll push him away. He's like, I don't care. Kill him. Get him the fuck away. And I was like, holy shit. One guy went over the monitor and he kicked the dude's pedal. I grabbed him and his foot hit the pedal. Dude went ass over tea kettle into the the barricade, in the middle. Sure. that dude's playing. He turned around. What did I fucking tell you? He's screaming at me, and I'm just looking at him. You know what I mean? He's half my size. I'm looking at him, and he's going, anybody touches that pedal, you fucking kill him. And I'm just going, holy shit.
So what's up with the pedal? Like, do you know what kind of pedal it was? Was it a magic super rare?
I have no idea, dude.
Or was it just like, don't hit my wall pedal, motherfucker?
Don't hit my metal zone.
It was the course pedal.
You know what I mean? Like,
probably what it was.
I don't know. I don't remember. I know it was more than a couple pedals. It was a little bit of a war, but it wasn't like
I get it.
Massive. You know what I mean? He didn't have a wah, like a volume controller, you know, like all these things.
Bloodhound Gang. It's not a terribly complicated band. It's distortion on, distortion off.
Right.
But
It probably was a metal zone.
Yeah.
Some shit like that. You know what I mean?
it makes sense for the time,
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
because that was that
Yeah.
90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, yeah.
What were they like live? I never got to see them
Amazing.
live. Yeah?
Absolutely amazing. Not
believe it.
Less Than Jake amazing, but they were fucking amazing. Less Than Jake put on one of the best, like, poppy punk shows I've ever seen in my life. The people were going apeshit. And they've got this, like, there's a song where they have this guy, they, like, sing this thing. It's like a college frat drunk song. Yeah. So there's people in the crowd going, and the whole crowd is singing this shit, and they're going, dude, Aquabats too. If you've never seen Aquabats, one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. The dude's missing a tooth, and he's a madman. All them guys are great. Have you ever seen the Aquabats?
No.
Oh my God.
See,
they're
like,
so fun.
like you're talking about my 90s music career, because in the 90s, like I had a punk ska band. And bands like Less Than Jake and Aquabats, like those were. Operation Ivy was really the real influence there.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't you troll Facebook recently with
did it.
Operation
I
Ivy? And you were
did
like,
it.
like, hey, do they have any other good albums? It's like, I'm pretty sure it's just the one.
I just was like, I didn't know. I don't know them.
Okay, you were trolling. Okay,
I really don't know
I
the
thought you were
band that
trolling.
much, but I
Yeah.
always hear people talking about it being just amazing. And someone goes, what do you mean? Like, all of their stuff is good? And I'm going, okay, that's a weird answer, but I'm like, is there one particular album? Like,
there's only the one, really. I mean, that's
that's
the thing. But the band came out. And
Joke's
then
on
just,
me.
Poof, done.
Yeah.
And then Rancid came around.
Okay.
Because that's there. I was like, it was Operation Ivy, and the singer from Op Ivy was like, I don't want to be a rock star, so I'm out.
Okay.
And the rest of the guys were like, well, we want to be rock stars. So
that became Rancid?
Rancid.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's why somebody else said something about Rancid, and I thought people were fucking with me.
around or not. Because you'd be the kind of person to go on there and troll the punks and be like, is there any other good albums by Op Ivy than just this one? And I was like, great.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't tell if you're fucking with me or you're
I really
serious.
didn't know.
Well,
I don't
awesome.
know. I'm just going to have to look for
Well,
myself.
I'm not judging,
you know?
but yeah, you know, Operation Ivy Energy, that's the one.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right.
There's a remastered that came out in 08.
Not so good?
It's good.
Okay.
It's good. You can hear the bass better. It's got a little more, but it's, some people are purists.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? They want to hear, well, that's not what came out back in 1989.
Right.
Whatever.
I hate the sound of those, but there's like a couple Circle Jerk albums that I really love that are just, they're so quiet when you put them on, but they're just amazing albums.
Yeah.
Wonderful's like my favorite Circle Jerks album. I just love that
And
album.
that becomes a tricky thing, too, is like, where's that line with, you take some of those old records and they were recorded at a different time, a different technology, a different budget.
Right.
Well, now you can take it,
And beef
throw
it up.
in Pro Tools and just kind of not change anything.
Not fucking Dave Mustaine everything, you mean? Oh my God, I just want to
it's
punch
like,
myself in the
if you
face
thought
when I
the-
listen to that shit.
The bass was a little soft. You can go, hey, you know what? Let's
Every
just
Metallica album? I mean,
wait. What?
well, the first couple had, was Cliff, so that did have tone to it.
It did.
God, what was I listening to? Damn it. I have to look it up.
That's okay.
Ride the Lightning. Dun, 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 dun. I cannot remember the name of the song. Dun, dun. It's a, damn it.
I was always a battery sucker.
Yeah.
Battery's the one.
The one tune that, you really...
That's the one tune that just every time I hear it, I'm like, fuck.
I brought this band up way too much lately.
Well, I mean, they're only like
Call of Cthulhu or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Just a long thing.
I mean,
on the end.
Metallica's only like probably the biggest metal band that ever existed.
Yeah, I was talking about
love
that.
them or hate them.
I was talking about that Black album.
Yeah.
Being the love for me, because I saw him on that album with Danzig and Suicidal Tendencies at Float Right?
Dang.
And it was like, dude, I walked up and it was every stupid jock that I played football with that shit on me for having long hair and like listening to metal and all of that shit.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, what's up, man? You know, I fucking love Metallica. You know, they got, you know, the fucking Metallica earring in their ear, that type of shit. And I'm just looking at them going, fuck off, man. Really?
Yeah.
Like, who let you in? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? I felt like I had to be the gatekeeper. You know what I mean? Like, dude,
Absolutely.
you gotta go. What was the last album that you sing me some songs?
Right. Well, this is like that whole thing of like, it's like, oh, you love this band so much.
Yeah.
Name one song that isn't this song.
Yeah. I seen some fucking some punk post where they ripped some dude's back patch off because he didn't know, and the people are standing there and it just said in the caption like he didn't know a couple songs or he didn't know enough songs from him, so they took his back patch off and the dude's just like that. It's hilarious.
Well, you point out there was something I thought was really interesting, and it's what kind of pushed me away from a lot of mainstream metal was I started to recognize, wow, all the people that beat me up listen to Slipknot now.
Right.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I think it's time to go find something else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not bashing on Slipknot,
Oh,
but
no.
you kind of start to wonder. It's like, you know, we came to this thing because it was our like.
Dude, where
our
did
little
the bro
secret place.
pick it up though? That's what I'm saying. Like, how did the bros pick it up?
Volume 3.
You think so?
Well, I think it was because of the success of Iowa.
Yeah.
And how, bro, you go back and listen to Iowa, just the entirety of the record of that was being played on mainstream.
Right.
That's because of what Joey was doing on the drums
Right.
and just how heavy and double bass it was.
Right.
But then when Volume 3 came out, that's when Corey didn't swear, or his version of not swearing on that album, and that's when a lot of people were like, because they won a Grammy for that album.
You know that Monty Connor, their A&R, I was on the phone with that guy for like fucking 2 hours, and that was the whole thing that he was trying to sell me on is like, I know you know the guys from Slipknot, you know, I know that, you know, the reason I'm on the phone with you, you know, is I really like your project. I really like what you're doing, but you got to do Wait and Bleed. Can you do something like Wait and Bleed? And I was like, okay, I understand. You know what I mean? So I went back to the drawing board and I just sat there and I'm just like, is it worth it? You know what I mean?
That's
like,
fair.
fuck you. Hatebreed isn't doing that shit. You know what I mean? Like the bands that I really liked, none of the death metal shit did any of that shit.
Right.
But that's why Roadrunner never made it to anything, you know, until Slipknot came around and they broke that thing and then they picked up Nickelback or whatever.
Well,
you know
if
what
I
mean?
remember the timeline correctly, didn't Hatebreed's Satisfaction and the Death of Desire drop almost exactly the same time as
Right around
Slipknot's
that-
self-titled?
yep,
I swear those two were
It's
just like
really close
real
together.
Close.
Yep, like within a few, I want to say within a year at
I
least.
thought so because like we were listening to both. When I was in
Wait,
school.
no, wasn't it Perseverance that came out or was that after?
I don't recall.
I don't know.
I might be after
Yeah.
because I swear Satisfaction was the first, but I'm not a Hatebreed expert.
Yeah, I don't know. I
stopped paying attention at some point.
I got a really good story from those two bands at Float Right and Nick Davis from the Metal Shop back in the day. He was talking about them, that Jamie Josta and the Clown went flying through a bus window fist fighting and shit. Those guys, it was crazy. They
Talk about Sid, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
Believe
just
it.
ridiculous.
I believe it.
Yeah, busting through the bus window. Said he's standing right there and they're fighting right out the window.
What was the fight about?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
Does it
what-
even matter?
No.
Yes, it does.
Well, you know what? They actually Hatebreed and Slipknot stole a golf cart. And they were told not to go into the population, and they jumped on a golf cart and they went. And Clown got pulled off. He got maced. Jamie Josta started punching on some security dudes. They I think Jamie got arrested. There was like this whole thing, and they didn't play the show yet. So they said, if you go out on stage and you try to start a riot, you won't get paid. We will not pay you. So like everybody knew about it in the crowd. So everybody was like ready for them to, and they didn't say anything, but backstage, dude, they were going apeshit. It was about to go off. I mean, it was just fucking powder keg. You know what I'm saying? People pissed everywhere, man. All right, don't talk about it. You know what I mean? That type of shit. Everybody was hush hush. He can't say anything about it. Yeah. His face is all swollen. Like Clown's face was all swollen because he got pepper sprayed in his face. Yeah. Good stuff.
Bro.
Backstage good stuff. Yeah. So now that you are jamming with these cats, what is the projection for new material? Are you guys working on new material? Are you just learning the ropes and kind of?
No, well, learning the ropes, yes, because I've complimented David plenty of times on this, but he's extremely organized to the point where I'm like, so much structure in this. This is so amazing, and I keep forgetting because he'll be like, hey, check
Friday's email.
What's the drive? The Wolf Mask drive?
Shh, we don't talk about the location of the thing, but you wanted something from me? No, it's a Google Drive folder. Was it when you were asking me, hey, do we have like a gig on this day? And I'm like, I don't know, go check the spreadsheet. Yeah, it's out there.
And the fact that he puts it on that, and he shares on both of it. I believe his exact words when they officially welcomed me into the band. And I remember, Adam, with great power comes great responsibility. And I didn't know what that meant. And I'm like,
don't tag everyone.
Yeah, I know. What do you? Oh, it's because, okay, I get it now.
You now have right access to the Wolf Mask folder on Google Drive.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I very much appreciate it. But I came to them with, I think, at least 6 songs that I have condensed into less than 2 minutes, that was the challenge. And I was like, can I do it? Can I? I don't know. I've never done that before.
How was adjusting to it?
If he did not show me Nails, that the song "You'll Never Be One of Us," and then I was just listening to that religiously, but then I found there's like a mini documentary on just Nails on YouTube, and that's what literally saved my ass, like legitimately, because the lead singer, the guitar player said it's literally cutting off the fat, having the meat, get in, fuck them up, get out. And then when I heard that, I was like, oh, what do I want the main focus to be? Yeah. Well,
these nuts.
I'm working on him. I'm working on him a little bit, but for me, it's breakdowns. That's like the main focus because I love doing them because that's what I'm attracted to. Yeah. I'm working on him. He's not a fan.
See, he keeps saying that, but I've already done that. I did it before and many times. Yeah. So.
But not the way I do. It's different.
No comment. No comment.
Well, that
but that's the
could
thing,
spawn a whole new thing.
But that's the whole thing with every band is that someone else comes in. Like, Mitch was not the original drummer. Yeah. There was another guy named Jade. Yeah. Jade's approach to drums is not the same as Mitch's approach to drums. And Mitch came in and he's like, hey, can I change this? It's like, well, yeah, within certain boundaries. Yeah. Absolutely.
Keep the structure of it all.
But and that's where you got to figure out the balance as a band with writing.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, there are 1 song is done and 2 are in the works and plenty are on the back burner. And by the works, it's just, like, how's that riff going to go? How's that riff going to go? So 3 songs.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, primarily, like, what would you say consists, how many riffs would you say, just to put a ballpark in a 2-minute song?
What's your definition of a riff?
It's hard to say because you can have 2 parts in one solid riff. You know what I mean?
Like, how many parts are in a verse? Because there can be 2 parts in a verse, there can be 4 parts in a verse, or it can be just 1 part that repeats.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So. I think about 6 or 7 per song, but it depends because I was just listening to the Dickless song, and that was one of the songs that I'm like, God, there are a lot of parts in this song. And like I always forget because I've been playing it for so long now that I'm just autopilot.
Yep.
Yeah,
but then there are other songs where it's just there's really only 3 parts. Yeah. But then again, sometimes it's just maybe the guitar drops out and it's just the bass and the drums.
Sure.
Yeah. But 6 or 7.
So varies.
It varies. It's all about the feel.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting thing is that.
That's what he said to me.
Whenever I talk to people, or more appropriately, people talk to me, and they're like, dude, you guys sound like. And then they give me what they think it sounds like. The answers are so all over the fucking map. And I'm like, well, that's because we kind of just play what we want to play.
Yeah.
And when we're writing a song, it's like, does it sound cool or not?
Right.
We don't go, does this sound enough like.
So-and-so, right?
So
I got you.
Other than maybe saying like, that's a little too punky.
Right.
Let's make it harder.
Sure.
But that's it. But I've heard everything.
Well, you guys ride that line very well, though.
Thank you.
I think you guys ride that line very well.
Yeah.
As long as it sounds disgusting. that's what he said to me. As long as it sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
Also, if it sounds cool, we'll do it. The one thing that I loved about it, because I always I bust his chops a little bit because I'm a huge metalcore and deathcore fan.
Sure.
I love the sound of the guitar. I love the breakdowns of that. Yeah. But he's just like, you can do it. It's just condense it. But also, if it sounds cool, but then like I'm gonna challenge you. I'm like, hey, don't just do on the open string doing that. How about you take it up a fret? Take it up 3 frets. Try different variations. And that's what we were doing with the new song that we were working on.
Dude, that's the shit I'm talking about. It's going to be a whole nother formula, man. It's another Rubik's Cube with different colors and patterns on the side of it, you know? Yeah. Okay, we got white ones over here. We got, zebras on this side. You know what I mean? It's like
the chorus we came up with, I was like, that was fun. If we get comfortable with that, we could tweak it a little bit more too. But the fact that where it is now, I'm like, I like this.
And what was funny was how much, because we had your parts and my parts, we recorded them both.
Yeah.
And then we overlaid them, and it was like, wow, there are a lot of places where we're playing almost exactly the same.
We were only off by a fret or two.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it was really cool to hear his brain, but then also hear my brain, and on the same times that I'm like, I want to take this part of yours for the first half, and then take my part from there in the second half and combine them. And then when we did that, I was like, oh, okay.
Well, you know what? Let's play the game. Who do you think we sound like, Greg? If you had to compare us to a band or bands, who would you compare us to?
There's too many. There's too much there for me.
That's fair.
There's too much there for me because I've heard so many different things. But then
for sure.
I like that though,
right?
Because I think that really sinks in for a band. Like I may hear a snippet of this, a snippet of that, a snippet of that, and I love the formula when you put it all together and make it your own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about the Deftones thing. You know what I mean? Like you just. You have to. I know so many musicians that don't want to admit it. You know what I mean? Where
for sure
everything good is either borrowed or stolen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and like making it your own, like playing it in a different, moving it around the fretboard. You like, yes, this is where you're comfortable doing that breakdown. But if you shift it and switch it a little bit, it's still you. It's still your feel, your vibe, and it makes it, and it stays in the vein of what you're doing. You know what I mean?
We had the funny accident last Wednesday when we were working on these riffs and we were trying to figure it out.
Okay,
and we got stuck.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, there's only so many notes that will musically work with what we're doing. And I'm going to forget the number of the fret. It doesn't matter. But I'm like
9.
I'm like, I thought it was 9. And I'm like, you're like, well, all it's left is 9. I'm like, fucking try it. Why not? And like, none of us thought it was going to work.
Here it goes.
And then it worked.
Yeah.
Really
God,
well.
That's one
like,
of those scoff moments where you're like,
Jeffrey Rise says, Faith no more on punk steroids.
yeah,
I love it.
Dude.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
I like Faith No More on punk steroids.
I haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah. I haven't either. Oh, you know what? I did see him for a brief moment, I think, not that long ago. I want to play another song. Can we play another song?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Let me see here. I got to set it up here. Tell me a story. There we go. The next song we're going to play is Shit in Your Brains. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right. Well, let's take a listen.
Bonus points if you know the movie from.
Let's go. You guys take a listen, and we'll be right back.
I gave him your name, Franklin. I told him where you live. I even gave him your zip code. He's gonna kill you.
So I messed that up. I had it. I switched it midway here. The Old Way with a Sledge is the name of that song. That was totally my fault. I'm able to take these the cards that I'm making and copy and paste. And sometimes I'll hit duplicate and then I'll switch the letters or the words on one side and it'll flip to the next card and it messes everything up. So that was my fault. I apologize.
Don't even sweat it.
I fixed it mid-song. So, yeah. And now I got to go back and fix the other one. But we got it.
Good.
The Old Way with the Sledge. Tell me what's that one about?
Well, the old way with the sledge is how you kill a cow.
Nice.
You don't want to use those guns. Guns are no good.
Yeah.
You got to use a sledge.
Got to use a sledge. I'm all about it. I dig it lots.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was our Texas Chainsaw Massacre song, which in here there's at least 2 pieces of Texas Chainsaw art I saw.
Yeah.
One that Justin did.
Justin did that one, and
that one
I
as
traded
well.
him for a tie-dye piece that he wanted.
Oh, nice.
So he's like, dude, I got something for you. I did these, and he sent me a picture of it, and I'm like, fuck yeah, you're gonna give me that, you know?
Yeah.
I was gonna get it signed, and I was like, I didn't. I'm real mad about that. Oh, I got it.
So did you meet Bill Johnson at Crypticon last year?
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
Yeah.
I met Bill Mosley a few years back, and that was like my first time at Crypticon. And he was such a cool guy. And then I heard he was all into metal, and I was mad because I didn't get to talk metal with him. So it was kind of sucky, but that's my favorite guy. Texas
Bill Mosley?
Chainsaw 2, is my shit. I just absolutely EXIT. Exit. Fucking love that shit.
My favorite had to be like right after that when he's like beating up the guy.
Mail
He's
call.
Like, incoming mail. Whack. And do you know how that happened? Like the director just loved what Bill was doing with the character, and he's like, just keep doing it. And Bill was just making shit up
as he was going.
And what they kept was incoming mail. Crack.
Yeah.
Love
Ring. Throwing the fucking records. That was awesome. In a Vita de Gata, baby.
Have you seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2?
I love it. You're all talking horror. I'm like, that's the least part of movies that I stay away from because I get scared very, very easily.
There's something about Texas Chainsaw 2 that I just absolutely love. I love the first one. I love the second one.
Yeah.
And
completely side note of it, but I love Freddy Krueger. He is my favorite. Like Bart, you can't kill him. He's basically fear. You just can't. That's why I love him so much about it. But Silent Hill, I will swear and die by that because that's my favorite one.
That's a good one.
I watched 15 minutes of The Grudge and I shut it off. And then just to rub salt in that wound, David's like, I watched that to go to sleep, and I'm like.
I think I said I fell asleep during it.
I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But you're talking about Texas 2.
Yeah.
And how 1, 3, both great films.
Yeah.
4 is interesting. If you haven't rewatched Texas Chainsaw Generations, go back and rewatch it.
I haven't in a long time.
It's curious because you've got. Anyways, I won't go there. But 2 was the one that everybody shit on.
Yep. Everybody
for
hated it.
Years.
Yep.
And then the last 5 to 10 years. Everyone came around on it.
I absolutely loved it from the first time I saw it because
Right?
it's got comedy. It's just, man, they bring the grandpa in it, man, and it's just
But you have a
everybody's.
coked out Dennis Hopper,
Yeah.
like trying out chainsaws and running around, like cutting down.
Dude, my very first photo shoot in a band was with well, not the very first, but was my first sub-level photo shoot was with this guy who was from California. And he lived down in Jordan in the Jordan Brewery, like the old school brewery building. And this guy had this Stephen King road sign that was in, I don't remember the movie. He told me what it was, but he had lots of pictures with him and Dennis Hopper and Jack Nicholson and like the whole Easy Rider thing, right?
Sure.
So I'm looking at all this stuff on the wall, and he's got like, and what he told me is like, I used to know all these people, all these famous actors and all this stuff. I partied with Hopper. And then he started getting into like cocaine stories about Hopper.
Yeah.
And he's like, that dude was an absolute beast. He said him and Nicholson were out of hand. And that was the first time I'd ever heard the story about how Nicholson there's a guy who worked on all the motorcycles on Easy Rider, and he did that thing. Have you ever seen Easy Rider?
No.
It's a Harley Davidson movie. It's just kind of it's an old classic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Old classic about kind of the dark side of America.
Yeah.
Like free spirit.
Like Sons of
versus-
Anarchy?
No. It's two guys riding motorcycles, and they're transporting drugs. At one point, they do a drug deal. They get a bunch of money, and they want to just go down to Mardi Gras, down to New Orleans, and go to Mardi Gras. Yeah. And it's the escapade all the way down there. But they pick up Jack Nicholson, and Jack Nicholson is like, he's a little off. And he drinks constantly. They meet him in jail. They get pulled over from they get ticketed for being in a parade, and they didn't have a license to be in the parade. And all they're doing is just walking with their bikes, walking through the parade. They get arrested. They meet Jack Nicholson, but he does this thing where he takes a sip of whiskey and he goes and he goes Indian. And the guy who fixed the motorcycles in the movie, that's what he did. So he picked that up, and that was the shtick for the movie. But I had heard all kinds of stories about Hopper and all of this other shit. But that was my tie-in there.
And we also have a Dennis Hopper thing in one of our, not ones you're playing tonight, but one of the songs has a Dennis Hopper line in it.
Which song?
The Speed song.
Oh,
yeah.
You know what I always loved? My favorite Dennis Hopper out of a movie was Blue Velvet.
Oh, that's
where
a
he's
good
talking about, don't be a good neighbor to her anymore.
Yeah.
You ever heard of the band Angkor Wat?
No.
So Angkor Wat used that part right there. Don't be a good neighbor to her. Fuck her. You know what I mean? He's
David Rubin says,
oh, hey.
let's not forget about the band's music video with Bill and Zach Lindsay.
I was going to get to that, and then friggin' Greg got me going on movies.
Yeah. Well, tell.
Right before, the whole thing happened,
Yeah.
we filmed a music video with David Rubin. He envisioned the whole thing because he's like, I want to make a music video with you guys. And I'm like, that's awesome.
Right.
You'll have to figure out how the storyboard shit works because I don't have the mental space for it.
Sure.
I don't. And he worked out a situation with the guys from Impaler, and Bill Lindsay killed all of us.
Nice.
In the music video.
Nice.
And, Mitch did this really cool trick with his hand. I can't do it because I'm not him, but he's double jointed or something. Yeah, it does this weird spider claw thing.
Yeah.
And so in one of the scenes, like, his hand gets smashed with a sledgehammer, and we had blood pumping out, and the hand's all like, ah!
Yeah.
And Mitch owned it. It was super duper cool. But yeah, I wanted to get to that, so I'm glad you said something.
Thanks,
because,
Dave. I appreciate it.
Once we start
so
talking
much.
about movies, I will go.
Yeah.
And I can talk about movies for hours.
So I wanted to ask you that. Okay, so you're not a huge horror fan.
No, but I'm a huge movie fan.
Okay. So this is basically towards David because I really wanted to know. So out of all the horror genres, okay, like what movie would you want to be a part of? Like if there was a trilogy or like a legacy. The Texas Chainsaw Massacres, the Friday the 13th, the Freddy Krueger, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Which genre, which horror guy or mascot would you want to be a part of?
Which franchise? Is
Yes,
that what you're getting at?
franchise. That's it. I couldn't think of it.
Easy. Phantasm. 100% Phantasm.
Fucking A.
Don't get me wrong, and I love
all of them.
Friday the 13th. I love Nightmare on Elm Street. I love all of it, but Phantasm is the one where it's just there are no fucking rules. And you're okay with it.
Yeah.
And as that series goes, it just gets crazy.
Dude, that is one of those when I saw as a kid that scared the living shit out of me was Phantasm because there's something. It's kind of like what was it? The Poltergeist guy. Remember that dude? The
one from
farmer
part
dude,
2?
where the guy got he'd always come to the thing in his face.
You're going to die. Yeah.
Or the kid from Children of the Corn. The he wants you to, Malachi. That shit, dude. There's just something about that old character or that character that just grabs me, man.
Yeah.
And the tall man. I was terrified as a kid. Just,
and that was the funny thing because the tall man, at least in the first movie, he doesn't do anything. He does next to nothing. But his presence.
Well, didn't he try to catch him and he put his hand in the door and he slammed the door, his hand in the door, and then it like
the hand went to the box.
Yeah, it was like mustard. It was like mustard coming out of it or something. It was crazy.
Exactly. Dude. But the tall man never like picks somebody up and like stabs him in the chest. Like no, he has his balls to do the work.
Yeah. Yes.
Or he has
Jeffrey
those little
Rise says,
thingies
Leprechaun hands down.
Dude.
All 30 of them.
All 30. You know which Leprechaun movie I'll actually straight say sucks? And I love those movies. I love bad movies. But Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Because it is not
the hell?
It is not better than Leprechaun in the Hood. At some point, because like we watched Back to the Hood on St. Paddy's Day recently, and like they were trying to make a legitimate movie where it's like we gotta tell about the hardship of these people growing up in a bad neighborhood. It's like, no, you just need the leprechaun telling dirty limericks the whole movie, and that doesn't happen in part 2 at all. He doesn't tell any like leprechaun limericks.
That's hilarious, man.
Yeah,
that is absolutely
But no, we are
hilarious.
talking to Dave right now. I have to send him.
Jeffrey Rise says. Agreed. In the hood rules.
See?
I love it.
To answer your question from Maya, I would want to be a part of the Saw series.
Now, would you be one of the people that has to come out, get out of one of the puzzles, or
No, I'd want to be Jigsaw.
Nice.
Just because of the psychological. Because in the first film, he plans which each of his, I want to say participants, but they're victims, but still, he plans each out what they're going to do, like psychologically. And that's what I loved about it. The gore is just there for, it's gory, whatever. But if you push the gore away, it's such a psychological thriller.
The Princess Bride guy ruined it for me. that was it. That was the only thing when I saw the first one. When they went back to him and he had to cut his fucking leg off with a dull blade, you know what I mean? Like his character really bothered me. I was just like, you were the wrong cast for that. You know what I mean? For some reason, it just bugged me. But I seen every single one of them.
It tied in really well at the I think it was the final chapter when he was the prodigy of the original Jigsaw. I thought it was great. I'm like, that's what I like. I like psychological films.
Sure.
Some of them can tamper into horror. Let's go. Absolutely.
7 is the bee's fucking knees.
I really, really loved that movie when I saw it. It just twisted me. It was like, what was it? What's the one with Kaiser Soze? What am I thinking?
The Usual Suspects.
Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
That movie had me twisted all up, man. When he was walking out, all of a sudden he started walking normal. He slapped that gold. I was like, no, that dude was right underneath my nose the whole time. I couldn't figure that out at all. I was like, give me a break, man. And they break it all down, and you're just going, oh, man, I missed all of that shit.
Well, Craig,
to hide shit, you just do it in plain sight.
Yeah.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Yeah, dude.
Yo, but 7 though, when that came out on home video, I watched it over and over and over. It was ridiculous how much. But also too, that was that time when Brad Pitt was starting to kind of break out.
California too.
Yeah.
Put your titty up, Adele.
California.
You know what I'm talking about? Have you
also,
seen that movie?
7?
No, California.
California with a K.
Yeah. Have you?
Oh my.
I know exactly.
Have you
what
seen
you're
it?
talking about.
I have not.
Oh my god.
That's
a good one.
That now, if you like psychological, that one's psychological. Now I'm gonna probably screw up the actors, but it's Patricia Arquette, David Duchovny, and Brad Pitt.
David Duchovny. It's not Patricia.
Who's
Arquette.
the lady?
I don't remember. It's not her.
No,
though.
you're right. It's not.
I can't even remember.
Danielle, where are you?
But it was the same person that was in Natural Born Killers, wasn't it?
What's that?
It was the same actress that was in Natural Born Killers.
No. No. His wife was in that. Yes. Juliette Lewis. Yep.
Was it Juliette Lewis?
Juliette.
California.
Yep. She was.
Okay,
She was Adele.
I got there
yep.
eventually.
Yeah.
I could have cheated and looked at IMDb.
David Duchovny's.
Jeffrey Rise says. Juliette Lewis.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
But the gal who was
been a
David Duchovny's wife in that one, that's the one I thought you were talking about. I didn't even think about Juliette Lewis.
Yeah. But it's one of those movies where
Danielle
things are not
D
as they
says.
seem, so
Trying to do dishes while listening.
Well, thank you for
that's a good update. But
participating.
if you like psychological, that's one of those movies where, not unlike Cape Fear or things like that, where things start and you're like, something smells a little off. But you know what? Nothing to worry about yet. And then it keeps going and it's like, it's starting to smell a little more off. We don't have to worry just yet, though. And then it spirals on you, and before you know it, you're just in the seventh layer of
and
hell.
you're like, holy shit, this guy has no idea what's going on right now.
Is it like,
it's good.
Is it like The Village?
No.
Not quite.
No.
Not quite.
No.
Okay.
Not quite. Or this one's not talked about often. Did you ever see The Hitcher?
Yes. Hold on. Wait. That's
Rutger Hauer.
And C. Thomas Howell. That's what I was trying to think. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fucked up movie.
Jeffrey Rise says, 1 hour photo has that creepy build-up.
Yes. 1 hour photo. Fucking Robin Williams. Dude, I worked at the video store when that came out. Everybody hated that movie. And I watched it probably too many times.
Right.
1 hour photo. Great fucking movie.
How long did you work at a video store?
3 or 4 years.
How was it? Awesome.
It was the best, worst job I ever had in my entire life.
You have to tell about the blood money.
Because you have to love movies to work there because the pay is shit.
I loved movies so much, and I wanted to work at a Blockbuster, and I didn't want to do Blockbuster. I wanted to do Hollywood Video.
That's where I worked.
I wanted to go like further back, like what was it? God damn it, Home Video. Home Video was one. It was like a small mom and pop spot, and then there was one in Newport that I fucking loved, off of 61. Right in Newport, they had like one of the biggest porn selections ever. It was like 2 levels. You go up, but their selection of videos was unstoppable. So they had everything.
Like we worked with David Rubin on a photo shoot, and we went to a video store to do it. We did at Video Universe in Robinson.
Jeffrey Rise says, I worked at Hollywood too.
Nice.
Wait, you did too?
Nice.
Which store? And what years?
I worked at a porn shop.
I know.
And it was,
I remember the conversations. That's the reason why you're so desensitized to all of that.
Yeah.
Because you've seen everything under the sun.
Yeah. But I would have to be.
blood money.
I would have to be. I would have to be in a small room with porno videos. Like I'm talking, like there were walls.
Oh yeah.
And all it was a small combo TV with a VCR on it, and I had to go through and fast forward through all the parts to make sure that there was content on the videos, because the guy was buying them from all kinds of different distributors.
Sure.
And so he would have boxes and days I would sit down there, and it was just like, I couldn't even get a hard on anymore. I'm not even joking. It was so like,
Jeffrey Rise says, EP 2006-ish.
Eden Prairie? Is that what it means?
Dude, I was the store manager at the EP location from 2001 to 2003.
Damn.
Something like that. So you came in like just after my reign of darkness.
Dude, it's so crazy.
Yeah, the EP store is where I got the story about you want to see the manager? I'm the manager.
How did that pan out? Were they really pissed that they couldn't just shit on you to the manager?
Yeah. Well, and what's funny is people, and I get that nobody liked late fees, right? They always hate it. And, just like when a cop pulls you over, if you're not a dick, you'll probably get away with it, and I would just delete your late fees. But once you're rude to me, it's like, nah, you can pay them.
Yeah.
Because this is what little bit of power I have in
yeah.
this job that pays all of $7.25 an hour.
Dude, a Blockbuster tried to charge me like, I had a video for like 4 years, and they tried to charge me that whole time.
Sure.
And I was like, I can go to the store and buy it. And they're like, why didn't you go to the store and buy it? I go, I got it right here. I'll bring it back to you and take the fucking money off my thing.
Sure.
And they did. But it was like, dude, you could have just returned it and not had this big problem. They literally went through a fucking company to get a hold of me. They found me. And I'm like, are you serious? I've got these in a box right here.
Yeah.
I'll take them back. And I called the manager up.
So I got one for you. I worked at the Chanhassen store for a bit.
Yeah.
Well, if you know where Chanhassen is, Paisley Park's not far down the street. Prince would come in periodically. He had an account at Hollywood Video with us. Prince had about, $700 in late fees.
Yeah.
Because nobody had the balls to tell Prince, hey, you have $700 in late fees.
Yeah.
And my DM was like, any chance you can collect this from Prince? It's like our largest late fee account. And he's like, it looks bad. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Prince can afford it.
Yeah.
So the next time Prince came in, I had me working, and Bobby, you call him Prince. You don't call him anything else. That's his name.
Mr. Nelson.
And no, I didn't even do that because you don't even call him Mr. Nelson. Just Prince. And I was like, hey, Prince, you've got like $700 in late fees. I'm like, you want to take care of that tonight? He's like, sure. And I'm like, all right, cool. Swipe the card. And I'm acting like this is no big deal. That I'm just sitting here fleecing. I'm sitting here fleecing Prince for like $700.
That's so amazing.
Over just like 2 late fees.
Yeah.
The structure is ridiculous to begin with.
Yeah.
So I called my DM. I'm like, yo, I got that money. I'm like, what do I get? Like, do I get 10% or something? And he's like, I'll buy you Taco Bell. How's that? I'm like, deal.
That's awesome, dude.
So yeah, no, it wasn't an awful job, but it had its moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that would have been so awesome.
Yeah.
Please explain the
Oh,
blood
he wants to know, okay, so the blood money.
Yes! Best story ever.
So when I was the manager of the Eden Prairie store, they didn't pay me manager pay.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where they're like, well, you're the manager, but we're going to keep you at your old salary.
Yeah.
And this went on for 6 months with promises and promises that, oh, like, you know, blah, blah.
They
Well,
didn't
we're
give
just
a
working
shit.
on the
Yeah, yeah,
paperwork.
yeah.
And I talked to HR about it. And they're like, no, like, they're working on it. I was out sick. I had a cold or something, and I came back, and, oh, there was a store manager. And I was like, that's interesting. So I called the corporate office, and I said, well, you've been lying to me for 6 months about this. You owe me 6 months of back wages, so you can pay me, or we can make this a legal matter.
Yeah.
Then they got stone serious, and like they're like, we'll have to call you back. And I told all my employees who were like, man, fuck this new guy.
Yeah.
You rock, Dave. We love you. And I'm like, yeah, dude. If I pull this off, I'll get a Nightmare Before Christmas sleeve, because that was the movie I'd always watch is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
They paid up. That's what paid for my right arm was Hollywood Video blood money.
That's awesome. That is so badass, dude. That is
I
so
can't believe it actually
badass.
worked, but it's true. That's how I got my right arm paid for.
Wow.
And that
is
was the story
awesome.
he told me when we were out on dinner. And it was just like, I'm like, okay, these cats are cool.
Dude,
Like,
that's balls
But you
deep,
can't,
dude. That's
you know,
awesome.
sometimes you gotta roll over and take it. Other times
you got to stand
you gotta
up and
stand
fight.
up.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta fight back.
Yeah, yeah.
And I knew that time. I'm like, I'm gonna win this.
Yeah.
And then when I went to quit, and so I went to quit the company, whatever. And the DM, same guy who was jerking me around, he was like, "Oh, are you sure you don't want to stay and like be a store manager?" This is in 05.
Yeah.
So if you know this timeline, you know Netflix is starting to kind of become a thing. And I was like, you know, you've already proven to me how you do business here. I think I'm done.
Yeah.
It was fun though, thanks. And he wanted to shake my hand, and I was like,
Get the fuck out of here.
Nah,
That's
you
so
screwed
awesome,
me, dude.
dude. That is
Danielle
so
D
tough.
says, David, you are king.
King David. Here we go, baby. Woo.
that's where the name came from.
Love it.
So
Love
I'm
it.
told.
Absolutely love it.
But being a part of this group has accomplished a goal of mine that I've had since 2002. I've always wanted to be part of a trio.
Yeah.
So the fact, because that was one of my questions when we were out on dinner. And by the way, we talked for so long at the 50s Grill. They actually shut down. They closed at like, I think it was 9.
9 or 10. Something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
we showed up like around 7:45, somewhere around there, and like we talked for a good solid hour and a half, and everybody was just mopping the floors, putting the chairs on top of the tables. None of us.
Nobody, they didn't say shit to you.
They didn't
just
say
let you go.
anything, which was so incredibly sweet of them. And I'm like, I really wish I would have tipped higher. I tipped like I think 15 or 20%,
Right.
just because I'm like, thank you. But we stayed.
But I figure if you went back, you know what I mean? If you've gone back since, you probably paid that off.
I've taken Danielle like a fair amount of times.
Yeah,
and
she sent me the menu and everything.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank
Did
you
she?
very much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But that was one of my questions as we were leaving the 50s Grill. I was just like, "Are you guys wanting another guitar player or what?" And Mitch is like, "No, we're pretty set on this." And I go, "Oh," and then he looks at me. He goes, "Now is that a bad sigh?" Or I'm like, "No, like I've always wanted to be part of a trio.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea. Like this is more than 20 years in the making. Like I am ecstatic, and I was geeking the whole drive home. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't. I gotta stay focused.
But
They
that's
haven't heard me
that's
play
another
yet.
thing too. It can be the make or break situation because if everybody can hear you, you know what I mean. And if
But I'm comfortable. That's
go.
the thing.
That's-
Like when
that's-
I've messed up a few times when on the first tryouts, but I was extremely comfortable and happy and just ecstatic.
Right.
And David's like, calm down.
Right.
Like, we appreciate the enthusiasm, but you got to dial it back a little bit. You're getting a little scary.
man.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just really excited.
But that's also the fun thing. He comes in with a lot of energy. And, you know, Mitch and I have been doing this a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
And we're a little more
Seasoned.
Jaded,
jaded.
Okay. I was trying to get
Seasoned is a nice way to put it, you know, but like
tenderized.
tenderized. But, you know, you do this long enough and like you start to take it for granted.
Yeah.
And Adam comes in, he's just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And
It
even
rubs
though
off on you too,
sometimes
right?
it's like, that's the thing. Sometimes I'm like, dude, fucking trank dart this kid. Like, what the fuck? But it does rub off.
The thing you got in your neck.
And that's the funny thing is, it matters.
Yeah.
Because you come to practice, sometimes you're not having a good day.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're tired and you don't even want to be there.
Yep.
But you're going to be there anyway.
Yep.
But if at least one person is in a good mood, it elevates.
It will change it. Yeah.
It changes it fast.
Yeah. Especially if you're a feeling player too, because you're into it, and you're kind of like, just want to get through these, get the practice in, and get out of there, and But if you have one guy that's just going fucking nuts on it, you're like, all right, he's here doing this too. I got to do it too.
And I'm going to embarrass him now, but
good luck.
the first show we did at the North Star Bar,
vomited twice.
Several people came up to me after the show on their own.
Yeah.
I never asked anybody, how'd the new guy do?
Yeah.
Because I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
But at least 2 or 3 people walked up to me and they're like, yeah, he's good. You got to keep him.
Right.
And I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, he really cares. And I'm like, perfect. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone that cares.
I don't remember the cat that hates everything and everybody, but even he said, "But who's the dude?"
God, there's so many of those.
I like to say that sounds like about all of my friends, but that's what matters is that you care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Coming into, you were in a band with John. I know how talented John was. I didn't know about SMB until he gave me the CD, but I knew he was in a band with John.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so, and I know about My Zero, and I knew about, Wolf Mask. So I'm like, okay, I've been around enough people to know that arrogance doesn't work.
Right.
It never has.
Right.
That I'm all about let humble, sure, but always humble. Always be like, I can hold my own. It is what it is. Like, just let me show you. I knew that was not going to work with Dave.
Yeah.
Especially after that first conversation we had at Skyways, just because you were really soft-spoken, you were really reserved, and just trying to feel me out. And he's just like, you see, he seems a little weird, little hyper. Why is this? Why? No. And I picked up on that. I'm like, oh, I need to dial it back a bit. Oh, don't want to.
Wait, you've been dialing it back?
Yeah. Bro, if I release, okay, when we played the first show at North Star, excuse me.
Yeah.
That was me partially letting it out but I was also extremely nervous because Eric was on this side, but I was also trying to remember and see because I couldn't, because every time I take off my glasses, I'm blind as a bat.
Right.
Sure.
So trying to see the frets of where I'm going, so I'm just staring while I'm going, and I'm like, but I was letting it out because I can't help it. Once that.
Well, how long had it been since you've been on stage? From the time of your last being on stage to North Star?
It was when Club Underground, we played with, when I was in Forever Gray, I played with, it was Forever and Gray, Wolf Mask, and then I forget the third one that was it, I think it was Gwar, or the
Tribute Gwar band?
Yeah.
That's,
yeah, Forever and Gray did that with Wolf Mask.
Yeah, I think that was the last time I was on stage.
okay.
And so I don't.
I was at that show.
20. No, was there 2021?
Was that
There's
post-COVID?
That's
or
that.
pre-COVID?
That's
See?
that blank.
See?
I don't
have
really
a flyer
know.
at home.
I think it was after, wasn't it?
I think it was after because
Just right after.
it was just right after.
Yeah.
It was just right after.
And
it was after. It was 100% after COVID.
After I got off stage and I pulled my amp, and David was very.
Jeffrey Rise says, Simothawa.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Forever
it.
and Gray.
That's it. Simothawa, yeah.
Wolf Mask.
No, they were on the bill too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jeff. I apologize profusely. I'm so sorry. But after that, I got off and I took my
Danielle
amp
D says, no, it was pre-COVID, you silly billies.
You sure about that?
Pre-COVID.
If you can find the flyer, honey, it should be by the TV, by the cat's apartment. That's under the table.
Jesus Christ! You guys got an apartment inside your place,
Bro.
A cat apartment,
Bro, I'm gonna come back to the cat part. But I'm trying to get this out of my head. But
Go ahead.
After I got off the stage and I took my amp off, David was like, "I was coming to help you." I'm like, "Oh, dude, don't worry. I'm used to doing this." He's like, "Dude, you beast." I'm like, "Sure."
Danielle D says, 100%. No masks.
Okay.
But
as I was putting my stuff away back to the merch table, all of a sudden I felt weird. Like something's not right. I couldn't describe it.
Physically or
Yeah.
just okay?
Physically, I was like, something's wrong. I don't know what this is. I need to get outside. And so I slowly walked up the stairs, and then I walked to my car, and I opened the door, and I sit in the back seat with the doors open so the breeze is hitting me because I'm sweating profusely. And I'm like, what is going on? And then 20 minutes later, Danielle comes and finds me, and she's like, are you thirsty or something? And I sipped some water, but then she went to go get me Gatorade and crackers.
Yeah.
She's such a wonderful person.
Right.
Right then and there, I vomited for 5 minutes straight, and I didn't know what it was.
Just jitters, or
I don't know.
Wow.
And then I couldn't see Wolf Mask perform because I was not feeling well, and I'm like, this really sucks because I wanted to go and watch them play. I've only seen them play at the 7th Entry when we played with them, and I wanted to see them again, and I was just in my car just violently ill, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I got over it 20 minutes later, and I just...
You got the Club Underground flu.
I don't know what it was, but it was
the moisture from the bathroom.
Dude, it was something. But the apartments for the cats, bro, we have 7 cats.
Jesus.
And this is the thing. I didn't plan for I'm a dog person. I like them. They're sweet. They're adorable. I like them. But they're my wife's cats, and she's...
So you're like the 8th cat.
Kind of, yeah.
She's the crazy cat lady, and you're the 8th cat.
There was one rule. There was a rule that I put into place with her. I'm like, if you're gonna have these many cats, you can, but there's something that you're gonna have to do that I will never do.
What's that?
I'm
cat box.
Kitty litter.
Oh yeah.
We've had the 7 cats for about, I would say, 8 months.
Dust
maybe.
kills me. Here we go.
Danielle D says, hey, you weren't supposed to announce that to the world, darling.
Oh, come on. That's great. That's awesome.
But, darling, all of our cats are adorable. They're petite. Like, they're not, like, Frankie size at
Danielle
all.
D says,
That's true. You have small cats.
but yeah, it was August 2021.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm an idiot.
Now I was going to say, I pulled it up on Instagram, and Instagram tells me 2021.
Different. Tells me different.
So it was
Post.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yep.
I may have caught it then. I don't know. I took a test. I came back negative. I was like,
at the show.
yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what it was, and still to this day I have no idea what
That was
it was.
probably nerves, man.
Could
Something.
be. But I'm just more bummed out that you don't fucking G.G. Allen and barf on stage or
Yeah.
something. I've been trying to encourage him. I'm like, dude, just barf on stage. Just don't barf on your pedals.
Yeah, there you go.
Just
Danielle
wait for
D
the
says,
breakdown for Ghostbusters.
I was thinking of the 7th Entry show.
Yeah.
That was March. Right, like that.
Was
No, it's
February.
February. Thank you. That was February of 2020.
Yep.
I honestly think people should really be like happy that they've ever played First Avenue and 7th Street Entry because
Absolutely.
it's so not a common thing. Like when I was younger, it was a common thing to play those venues, you know, and nowadays it's really hard for people to get. I know that Visceral Reaction, young death metal cats, they were trying to get into the Entry for their CD release, and I was like, I know that Jack's dad has been around for so long, Bucky's been around for so long, I figured, fuck, they'll get in there no problem. And I just said, well, dude, it's a perfect place to do a CD release party. And I'm like, but if you can't get in, let me know, and we'll try to get something worked out, you know what I mean, at the Skyway. And it was just like, it brought me back to so many fucking times playing the Entry, and God, I love that room. That room was so much fun.
I loved the fact that we played there.
Yeah.
It was, I was in shock.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the sound man's name, and I feel absolutely terrible.
God, it's changed so many times, though.
That's the thing, though.
Yeah. It's constantly changing.
He just walks up, he looks at, I politely say, I'm like, how loud do you want me? And he just kind of pauses there, kind of tilts his head a little bit. He goes, how loud do you usually go? And I did practice level, which
11.
No, it's always 3.5, close to 4. Never past 4. But I turned it up there. He goes, yeah, I could work with that. And when I was in Forever and Gray, that was the best we've ever sounded. Yeah. It was. I really wish I remember that cat's name.
The monitor sounds in the main room are hands down my favorite. That and Mirage. Mirage was good too back in the day.
Sure.
I have a ticket stub from the Mirage
That's
right
the
there.
thing is like, when you play a place like 7th Street or First Ave, like you're working with people that are there every night doing stuff. So of course, like they've gotten good, and this is no way to badmouth any other sound people, not at all.
Sure.
But when you go to First Avenue, they run that place like a fucking machine.
Sure.
Because there's no time.
Yeah.
There is no time to screw around.
Yep. Yeah, I remember Conrad, man, back in the day. Conrad was a fucking monster, dude. You know, you just never wanted to piss that guy off because your band would sound like complete shit. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just telling a fun story.
Okay.
About, like, Conrad was at that show we did at 7th Street. Like, the door people, or the people working the garage said, hey, you can pull your car in and unload and then pull out. And I said, okay, fine. And Conrad was like, you can't have your car here.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm really sorry, Conrad. I'm just unloading really quick, and I'll go find parking outside.
Fuck you are!
And,
get it out!
And I'm sitting here like, you know, with an 8x10 being pulled out of it. I mean, it's clear I'm moving stuff, and Conrad's like,
gotta move.
no, you can keep it back here. And I'm like, you sure? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks.
Wow.
And I'm like, and I realized what had happened there. I'm like, again, what we talked about before.
Yeah, yeah.
Respect.
Yeah, yeah.
Respect.
Catch
Yeah,
one with honey
he was
and
like that.
vinegar.
That is a guy that, you know, I'm a pretty, like Eric, that stern face. You know what I mean? Like you can get it. You just, Conrad had that in spades. That guy
Absolutely.
looked angry at all.
He's still there.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Is
the
he?
thing, yeah. But the thing was, but imagine you're Conrad.
Yeah.
Every fucking night.
Yeah.
You've got some diva piece of shit
Yep.
coming into
Yeah, yeah,
your
yeah.
house.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to tell you what's what.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Please. And how many people do you think he's seen come and go?
Oh, yeah.
The flavor of the week that
Sure.
rolls through and sells out first half that night.
Yeah.
But 2 years from now,
Yeah.
they ain't nothing.
You're the entry.
Yeah, you're at the entry.
Yep.
But to piggyback on, like, before we got off on the rabbit trail, I am very happy that you saw that I cared, because I was doing my best to be like, I want to show these cats respect. I want to show these cats that because they're seasoned, not in a bad way.
Right.
But the fact that you were in all these bands, I'm like, and then there's just me. I've only been in, I mean, technically one that actually played on stage for publicly. So I'm like, I also not necessarily filling Eric's shoes, but just showing what I can do.
Sure.
That was like, that was nerve wracking. But because I didn't want you to feel, I didn't want you or Mitch to feel like, because when you ask my opinion about how the songs where we're writing go, I'm still taken back by that, because I'm like, I'm the new person. I shouldn't have any say.
Well, we can do that too.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine with that.
It's just the fact that you asked
Know
him,
your role, sir.
bro. I thought I'm still in the mindset that I still have to be careful and still prove my worth, which I'm all for.
Right.
I have no issue with that.
Yeah,
just the fact that you've been so welcoming and so like, Adam, we want your ideas. That's a different perspective. I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
And so it was.
But that time frame that you had between Forever and Gray and this project, I think you were searching. You know, you were working on stuff. You were trying to put things together to start a new project to have, because we talked about it several times. Not on the show, but we talked, and on the show, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
We talked a lot privately about what you were up to and where you wanted to go with it, and that you wanted to ride the Forever and Gray thing out and really care about the situation. And it turned out, you know, you cared a lot, and other people had other things going on, and that happens a ton.
Yeah.
But,
all the time.
But when you and that's when you asked me, you know, to reach out and just say, hey, give them, you know, let them know that I'm, you know, available or whatever. Can you connect me or whatever? I just was like, you have nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? Like, I knew that if they were receptive to just trying you out, once you got in there, I felt like those two guys were nice enough guys to see beyond you pulling back like giddy schoolboy, like, hey, I'm gonna do it, you know, but they're gonna see beyond that. And that's how it was like, yeah, dude, you got this. Just go ask them, and if they're into it, they'll tell you. Yeah. You know, because like you said, they're seasoned guys, and the caliber, you know, from one project to the next. And that's how it happens. You know, that's how you progress as a musician. You just get to the right cats, you get around the right cats, and then you're already starting to link up slowly. You know what I mean? Like they're starting to feel where you're at. You're starting to feel where they're at. Before you know it, they're going to be writing parts because they know where you're going to be at in that pocket. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of it all. And being a 3-piece, like you said, it's the most awesome feeling. I couldn't even imagine, because I've always been a vocalist. You know what I mean? But to be able to have just that little lock, get into one car, boom, we're out of here. You know what I'm saying? We're borrowing your stuff. All we're bringing our heads. That's it. Bam, boom, bam. Done.
Yep.
Forget about it.
And that's what we do with North Star, the first show I played. It was just like, oh, we're gonna share cabs.
Yeah,
Oh,
we did a little swap thing going. But Greg's bringing on a really good point. Is that's the whole thing with joining bands and connecting with people. Is that you're going to go through a growing period where it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Period. It just
Well,
is.
and
But then you step up, and then you.
Like you said, with being seasoned too, when you get into it at first, and I know you were trying to get into wherever you fit in. You just wanted to be a part of the scene. I felt it. I saw it from day one that you actually cared. So many people get involved in the music scene, and they'll go into it. It'll become a job. Now they're not having fun anymore. You know what I'm saying? They get jaded from that, and then they're just not having any fun. Where they just stop caring. These cats are the next level for you. They're the next thing. You're going to learn so much from the way that they write, the way that they play, that when you decide to go back to that shelved little pieces that you have everywhere, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a whole nother beast. And when you create that whole nother beast, it's going to be that much more inflated. It was down here. You had a bunch of ideas in a kitty right here. You know what I mean? It's in that place, that file. It's in that cabinet with that particular band. Now you've moved up. Now you're going to start playing more. You know what I mean? Like it is a serious level up. That's what it is. And honestly, I was that's how I got involved with the visceral reaction guys. You know what I mean? Like Bucky came up to me and he asked me, and then they opened for Crowbar, and I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do? They're doing what they should be doing, But when I actually had a chance to sit down and book a show with Jack and like show him and kind of just put him in the right direction, like, dude, you've got to have a good headliner. Somebody who's going to go, yeah, I'll be on the bill. Where do you want us to play? Well, last. We don't want to play last. We want to play second to last, the key spot.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And Jack put the bill together, and it was like, I saw them play. Are they the most talented guys in the city? They're 17. They are talented as fuck at 17. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I saw myself up there at 17, and I was just like, wow, I'm going to help them guys with anything that I possibly can. And I gave them some great direction, and and they took the ball and they fucking ran with it like champs, dude. And they Jack booked the show. Jack put it out there. He flyered for it. He did everything. The place was fucking packed. They made like $2,000 through the door.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? For a couple of kids to put a show together for their very first CD release, and it was fucking jam packed. I was so excited for them, and that's all it was me seeing that they cared about this lifestyle that we have put ourselves into. At 17, I was like, man, I was never that talented when I was doing this. You know what I'm saying? I was like, holy shit. I see Agony Reigns and all those guys when they first came out, or Begrademan, or, all these younger cats. And I just go, holy shit. What basement were you in playing that shit, over and over and over again? And then the catalog amazes me these days with the kids. They hear the Slipknot and they go back. What was Slipknot listening to? What made Slipknot? What were the bands that made them?
Yep.
They go back and they're like, Death and Acid Bath and like all these weird obscure shit. And then they formulate this whole, it's such a great feeling to see that happen, man. It's a great feeling, like I said, man, to have you join with these cats and it working out. I was so happy for you, dude. Super happy for you. It's just fucking awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
No. I'm busting your balls too.
My brain was sincerely focused
I know.
because he would send me a video and be like, he's like, okay, it goes like this. And I would analyze it.
Yeah.
I would literally, you invited me to Will's show at the entry.
The last Coffin Ride show.
And I said that to Will, that I would be downstairs playing their material for like hours. So he'd be like, so you played the set list like 17 times? And I go, yeah. I like Daniel could vouch for me because I would just get down there and I would analyze everything that he do and what David sent me just so I can get it into my natural flow. And I'm like, okay.
Muscle memory. Gotta do it.
Yep.
I'm doing it like this. And I would show him the next time we would have practice. I'm like, I just do this. And he would be like, sometimes he'd be like, yeah, that's fine. That sounds cool. I like it. Other times he's like, no. I'd be a little bit like, but I'm not really serious. But he knew that I was just kind of like, little lost puppy. nothing. But if he likes it, great. Then, but if he's just like, nah, I'm not really feeling it. Like, keep working on it. And I'm just like, oh, a carrot.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I take that and then if I tweak it, what if I tweak it? What if I went up to the 9th fret? Yeah, just try it. And I'm like, okay, what? So he's pushing me, but not really like obviously pushing me. He's like putting out little crumplets of a challenge, and I'm just like, huh.
Hansel and Gretel and that shit.
Him.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. I'm leading you.
Yeah.
No, I mean that.
You know that there's a pretty famous bass player that did that in the Twin Cities. You're right there. What? Chad Hanks used to do that to everybody.
You mean the guy whose bass amp and cab are in my basement? Yeah. No, Chad was huge on that, and he also helping the youth get into it.
Yeah.
Because I got his rig from one of his students.
Yeah.
One of his students was
That's
like,
awesome.
I need to get rid of this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what did you pay Chad for it? I'm sorry, what did Chad charge you? And I paid him what he paid Chad.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
And which is way under what it's worth.
Yeah.
And when the time comes for me to get rid of it, I will do the same thing.
Right.
And I hope I can find a kid I can give it to and
Right.
just go, hey, well, I only paid X, so that's all you're paying.
Right.
And X is nothing.
Right. Yeah, I just it's awesome to me to see you get into a project because we had so many conversations, private conversations. I won't get into it because it's just you never want to make anyone feel bad about what you're doing. You cared the most. You know what I mean? It felt like to me you were that project at that particular time. They were a project before you. You came in and you took it and made it your baby and wanted to push it forward. And life happens and people that it happens like that.
Yeah.
But you were searching. And it just killed me that you couldn't find cats to jam with. You know what I'm saying? And to find these guys that are on that level of kindness and coolness and good folks all around. You know what I mean? You're not going to get into a band with a bunch of drunkards or addicts in some form or way. You know what I'm saying? Like these cats are good dudes who care about the music, that want to do what they want to do, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, you finally found a slot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the best thing.
Here's my question to you.
Yeah.
Between David, myself, and Mitch, who's the nicest?
Oh, that's not fair.
That's a good question. I honestly cannot answer that because I don't have enough interactions with Mitch. I know both of you guys. I would say that you're both very, very kind people, very good-hearted people, and I would say you guys would never steer anyone down the wrong direction unless they really fucked with you.
Danielle says, it's a trap.
See, she knew exactly.
It's a trap.
She knew exactly.
I knew it was a trap.
So I
wanted to watch you squirm on the hook.
I want to roll back to something. Seven, the movie Seven.
Yeah.
When they go in and they find the guy who's in the bed and he's been laying there and he's keeping him alive. He's feeding him with dope. Like
Sloth.
They go. Yeah.
Yeah, sloth.
So the first thing that popped in my head when they went into the room and they had the little trees on the fucking thing, Beastie Boys. Trees of a mirror so my car won't smell. That's the first thing that popped in my head. I'm like, oh, dude, there's something bad in this room, man. I'm going, holy shit.
And you tell me when the cop goes down and says, I'm glad you're dead. And he comes back to life, you didn't shit your pants.
Oh, I
shit my pants.
Yeah.
I mean, I can think of choice moments in my cinema history where I've been like, holy fuck, I need a minute.
Yeah.
Because it just was done so well. Yeah.
I love that.
But yeah, going back to Sloth.
Yeah, sorry. That was it. That was it. I just went back because I was going to tell that and I was like, oh, it's gone. No, it's back.
Good. It's good.
I love it. So any projection as far as like releasing anything new? You're just working on stuff?
Springtime, probably. Okay. Springtime, early summer. I mean, like we have 3 songs in the works. 1's done, 2 are nearly done. And so now we're at that point of, okay, maybe we'll ask you what you think about something, because there's always this question of how do you release music?
Right.
And we've been in that pattern now that we would do 6 songs on an EP, release it about once a year.
Right.
Well, I recognize too that, people consume music differently now.
Right.
And so is it better just to go, new song, poof? new song, poof, or do 3 songs instead of 6.
I don't know. I think, okay, so if you were, well, see, now you have shorter songs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can really punch people in the face with that. You know what I'm saying? But you can also have a catalog of those songs. And if they don't have a copy of what they're doing, you could always do lyric videos. You could do other videos, especially if you've got people that have the ideas for videos, you know, and release a few at a time and stretch it out. But maybe stockpile and give them a double EP. Do something like that where it's like, okay, we're normally giving you 6 songs, 3 to 6 songs, double it. You know what I mean? Because you could do a double live, you know, booty disc or whatever. You know, like
for sure.
You see. Here's the thing that
Melancholy Infinite Sadness, just with Wolf Mask.
Right. Well, here's another thing that I don't think enough people do still is to go back to the Fear Factory, not Digimortal, but demanufactured and remanufactured. Mm-hmm. You have the capabilities to do that type of thing where you could do something completely heavy and then remix it. I love remixes, especially like I talked to Tracy about doing a remix of just Outside the Murder stuff with twisted kind of industrial weird shit. I wanted to put my vocals over something just bizarre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you do a double thing on it, you know?
Oh.
Idea.
I didn't even think about that. No, that's a good idea.
And if you have
Thank you.
people that you've worked with, John is one of those guys that would probably do a remix. You get other people to just take your song and go, hey man, will you do something with that? Yeah. Like we want to put, you know, and then give them credit on the second half of it.
Absolutely.
And run it.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good seller, and I think it would be beneficial because if those other people that did the remix, you could say, okay, your song is on this album. Here's 10 copies. Sell them at your show.
Yeah.
You're part of this as well.
Yeah.
So then you have multiple people selling it in multiple areas.
Fuck, that's a good idea.
Spencer Singer says, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I hope you're well, Spencer Singer. Thank you for joining us. Yes, that's what I would say.
Yeah, good idea.
I just think that it's kind of cool, you know, if you, you know, or take some of your older songs that are already been out and remix them that way.
Yep, that's the other thing I've been thinking about too, is what to do with those. We've also been talking about, because you know what we've done for years, which is just, here's a new EP, here's a new CDR.
Right.
And that was always the idea of like, we didn't care about making money. It was just, let's just get the music out.
Sure.
But now that we have 3 CDRs,
right,
it's like, okay, I think it's time to put all of these onto one CD and press the fucker and just be done with it.
Yeah.
Because we're sitting here looking at the restock of our merch, and I'm like, okay, so who wants to sit around and burn CDRs and watch a movie? Like, you know, But the idea then was just, let's just get the music out. Who cares if we make any money? And I still don't care.
Right.
But it's like, what do we do with that? But as we start to think about that, we can think about
Spencer Singer says,
remix.
I'm great, good to see you all excited to see what it next. Lots of potential. Smiley face.
Lots of potential, sir. Lots of stuff. And there's so much next. There's so much stuff next.
Absolutely. And that's the fun thing too, is, you know, Adam gets to come in and bring a breath of fresh air to the room and to the air.
Right.
And we've only just now started to really work on writing new stuff in the last couple months.
Yep.
And it's going very well, because if you've ever written music with people,
it can be a process.
It can be really difficult sometimes, or it can be very easy.
Yeah.
It depends on pride, ego. Are you willing to go, maybe my idea is not the best idea in the room, but what else you got?
Yeah.
And we try other things.
Yeah.
And so far, no one's gone, oh, you don't like my part.
Right.
Poo, poo.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I've done that just for joking, but
For
not,
jokingly,
not
but
like serious.
But I've been in situations in past bands where people have been like, it's my way or the highway.
Yep.
Or they're like, no,
Danielle
this is how
D
it is,
says,
and that's not how you do it.
You could call the CD the pre-AD CD.
Pre-AD?
Pre-AD.
There you go. Pre-AD.
Before Adam Dee.
No, I know. I was trying to think of a
Thanks,
witty
darling.
response, but I got nothing.
No, that's what Eric said to me when I asked him.
Pre-AD?
No.
Oh.
When I asked them, like, because I wanted to dive into their brains a little bit, just because I'm like, what do they really say? Like, behind mine. No, but I was just like, what is David and Eric, David and Mitch say about me, and he goes, dude, they think you're a breath of fresh air. And I got all butterflied. I'm like,
nice. Well, that's what it needs. You know, I mean, that is a situation sometimes, man. You know, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's the hardest thing when you part with other members of the band. You know what I'm saying? And you go on and want to keep the thing going. You know what I mean? You have all this material that was written by one guy, or this guy added flavor to that material, and then it just changes totally, and you can get disillusioned where you're like, oh man, now we got to look for another cat that's doing this or doing that. Are we going to find the right guy? We've got to go through these processes, and especially being a seasoned musician, you have to do all of because you don't want to let some ego in. You know, and make that because it becomes so damn toxic, and then it becomes work. You know, you show up and, you know, I always explained it as a circle, right? Yeah. So like it's that warp, you know what I mean? You just get that warp. And then when you're on a full, solid, good day and everybody's just happy to be there and throwing down, or you're really creative one day, that circle just, you know, it's a hum. You can just feel it. You know what I mean? Like, when that, you know, them songs are just, ideas are coming out. Oh, God, there's nothing like it.
Well, that was one of the things when we went into the writing process of, you know, writing new stuff. I was actually something from Rogan, like, you can't be married to an idea. Yeah. Like, and I had that mentality going. So every time that you ask, like, do we want to change them? Like, we can. Like, I'm all for it. I am not committed. These are just ideas.
I wish I fucking learned that so much younger.
I know, right?
So much younger. I played with so many good people, and I wish I could have. I'd always been the glue. You know what I mean? Like two factions on either side. One guy would try to gather other people to be against one other person, or you know, it would be a coup where, dude, don't you like my riff better than that riff? Doesn't it?
Oh,
you know,
God.
and then you're pulled to one side, and it's just like, come on, man. No. You two can't just talk it out. Like, well, I don't play instrument. Yeah, but you sing and you feel it. You know, da 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 da. And it always became such a drag, man. You know what I mean? Just that toxic vibe, and oh man, I love to hear and sit down with musicians who have that open mind and have that the ability to just go, it really doesn't matter. We'll just come up with another one.
Yes.
We'll just, you know, like, remember it. Like, if you can remember that riff, it may work with something down the road. You know what I mean? And I love that about, you know, I've worked with a couple guys that were like the biggest pains in the ass. But when you look back at the project and look back at the situation, if we didn't change the things multiple times over, it wouldn't have been that cool of a song. Because you're like, dude, it was so much cooler the first way we did it. But if you haven't gone 5 times over it and come back to that circle, you're like, all right, you're right. You know, or you know, the fresh new ideas, you know, that I hate to say it, but there is a time in a band where, you know, there's guys and you know, even if they're like the founding members of that band, sometimes they don't even realize it's time for them to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sucks.
But that's hard though, too.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct. Yeah. But when you've committed so much of your life to something, it's not just about the work.
Yeah.
It's not just about the time.
Yeah.
It's about your own identity.
For sure.
I know that, you know, you went through a recent period of just, you know, not being engaged in a band and playing music. I remember when I had that period where I spent 6 months where I was disillusioned after a bunch of projects, and I was like, I'm just not going to play music for a little while. Yeah. Ended up working a soundboard. Right. And that's how I ended up meeting Eric. Right. Because he was in a different band. Right. And I was like, I got to find a way to fuck my way into this band. And I did. And that's how I got to know Eric. Right. I joined up with his band. Right. But sometimes the person that needs to go doesn't know it's time. Yeah. And that's a hard thing to realize. Yeah. Yep. It's a lot like quitting a job you hate. It is, because even when you know you hate the job, but it's still stable.
The golden handcuffs. That's what I call it, man, where it's just enough to keep you there. Yep. And that's what, unfortunately, for anybody watching who works with me, that's where I'm at with my work. You know what I mean? It sucks. It's like I came in mid-level and then I'm starting to make some good money and I'm comfortable. You know what I mean? I have this room. I look every day at my family and my house and everything that we have right now. And I'm so thankful, but I'm like, fuck these people, man. They could care 2 shits about me. You know what I mean? I see guys that get hurt in the field and they come in and they'll do something to piss somebody in the office off.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they have a job that is like the job that gets people to quit. And it's shredding paper. I mean, boxes and boxes of paper. And the shredder won't just go, it's like 12 pieces of paper and then it overheats and it stops. But the place that they do it is like by all the shitters in the whole building. So it's like, I saw this dude struggle daily. He's just going, oh my God. He started putting notes on the bathroom doors, like, you have to shut the door. I don't want to smell you after you've been in there. Like, this dude, he lasted 2 months in that one room. Then he was like, you know what? I'm done. I will stay home and heal. I don't even care about the money. Yeah. He just ate it just to go home and stop shredding these papers. Like, this dude lost his mind in this corner, man. There's had to have been like 6 guys that they just put in the corner and they're like, nope, I'm done. I'm going to find a new job. Like this place. So crazy like that.
No, I completely understand about that, and it's really tough. The best part of a different side of looking at it, the way I look at it is, yeah, I have a job right now, and it's nice. It's, you know, it's comfortable. I'm making some good money.
Sure.
But it's not what I want to do. It's fueling what I want to do. So you kind of have to eat shit a little bit. You gotta have to have that mentality of like, yeah, it's a job. It sucks. It is what it is. But it's actually keeping me alive and afloat. So I can do podcasts, or I can do music, or I can go do all this other stuff. And that's how I've always looked at it. I'm like, I know this. I'm not a fan of this, but it's paying the bills, and it's also helping me do the projects that I want to do. That
I think
money's
that's
not the main.
Money's
Not
that's
the
most
thing.
important.
That's what matters the most. And that was the funny thing, was like, whenever I get asked a question, we've all been asked this question at work.
Yeah.
So like, where do you see your career going? And I just sit there and I'm like, I'm surprised I'm here.
Yeah.
Because I only ever took this gig because it meant I didn't have to work on the weekends, which meant I could play gigs.
Yeah.
And you give me paid time off. So
Right.
I don't know what the next step is,
Yeah.
because I didn't think I'd make it this long.
I look at some of the guys that I work with that are, I mean, it's their career. Like, this is what, you know what I mean? Like, that's what they do. And I'm like, dude, I drive a truck. You know what I mean? I can drive a truck anywhere. Yeah. Am I going to make the same amount of money? Probably not, but I'm still on the road doing this thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's a tough deal, you know? I'm trying to explain that to my 16-year-old daughter as well. You know what I mean? Like, this is her second job. And she made more money at a restaurant being the hostess, right?
Okay.
But there's something about, and I told her, eventually you're going to come home from that place and you're going to smell it on you. And then you're going to realize this isn't the place for me, you know? Sure. She was like, I love it. I love the people. I love the fact that I can, you know, bust some tables and I can go back the next time and I'll have money there waiting for me. And I'm like, that's great. But this is your first job and you're not going to save any of this money. You're just going to spend it. And it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. And she's like, oh, whatever. And she's like, she's bought us dinner. She's, you know, and things like that.
That's awesome.
And I look at her and I go, you don't have to, you know, I've got money. You're fine. Don't have to. I told her when she got her first job, if you're not doing good in school, I don't want you to have a job. I could care less if you have money. I'll pay for whatever you need, but I don't want you to be stressed at school and having to work and blah, 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 blah. So now she's working for less money at Pac Sun.
Oh.
So I'm like, so you work more for less money. You know, I'm just kind of pointing it out to her. And then I'm like, okay, so now you have to get a bank account. You know what I mean? Now you have to kind of save some of your money. And I keep telling her, you got to give yourself a little bit of an allowance. You know what I mean? If you want to buy a shirt, save 2 checks for that shirt. You know what I mean? Even if you have the money for the first check, just save a little bit from the next check, you know? Keep a little bit for yourself, keep a little bit in the bank. You'll figure it out. You know, if you want to go on a trip, if your friends are going somewhere and you want to buy ice cream, you know what I mean? Like, she bought for her second check, she bought all the people working appetizers from Applebee's. And I'm like, that's not fucking cheap. No. I'm like, so how much of your check do you have left? Oh, like $30. And I'm going, no, you can't do that, man. You know what I mean? These people are working for their stuff to make their, you know, like, it's nice to be nice if you've got the money, but you're learning to work your money, you know? I knew none of that when I was a kid, man.
I don't think any of us knew that when we were kids.
That was it.
Yep. Paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there it went.
That was it. I mean, I'm still there now as an adult. I mean, it sucks because I know so many people that are, they're wise with their money and they're able to put things away and, they're able to squirrel and do these things. And, I could go on trips, but I don't go on as I should be. I'm fucking just at 50. I should do what I want.
Yeah, you ought to be able to.
Yeah.
Still don't look a day over 38.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, man.
Regardless, I'm glad you take it as a compliment because it is a compliment. But at the same time, like, bro, you don't look 50 in any way, shape, or form.
I feel it. That's about it, man. I feel it every time I talk to young musicians that are doing great things, and playing killer shows. It just makes me want to play again. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm not a young man anymore. I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, I felt it when I got off work today.
Yeah.
I sat on my couch because I had some time to kill it, and all of a sudden I just, no, this isn't good. I'm sinking. Get up.
Yeah.
Get up.
Yeah, when I get home, I tell my wife that too. Okay. What am I doing before I take my boots off? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What am I doing before I take my boots off? Because as soon as I take my boots off, I'm not fucking doing nothing.
Couch calls your name, and you're just like, oh, it's so comfy.
Yeah.
So
See, like I have carved out zones. I do time wise where it's like work gets done.
Yeah.
I get to have a half hour
Fun
of just wind down, deprogram the brain. Usually a cat nap is involved.
Sure.
And then it's like, all right, now it's time to go.
Yeah.
And then I do all the stuff I want to do. And then right around 10 o'clock, it's like, all right, now it's time to relax.
Yeah.
Now mine's just not the whole routine.
Yeah.
But the same thing of where like, if I sit down and start playing video games after work,
Dude, I'm fixated.
night's done.
I've ruined myself in the last. So I've played this game on and off, City of Heroes since 2004. Okay,
Dang.
I've played this game and it was offline for 6 years or something, and it just came back. So I have been playing nonstop since it came back, and they're giving, dude. It's such a long story. The maker of the video game shut it all down. Somebody who was coding it stole the code and made a private server that you could only get invited to until the copyright and the trademark was off of it. Then they released it out into the wild, and now there were like groups, factions of people who played it, who popped up a server here, and you can go from each server, and they all do different things, and they've all added new content and weird shit to it, right? Like one server, you come in, you talk to this dev, he gives you a bunch of money, you buy a bunch of shit, but the system that runs the whole thing, the economy of the game, is off because everything's just given to you, right? So in the original game, it shuffles back. You know what I mean? Like if you pick up a bunch of something and you sell it, now it's in the market for other people to buy, right? So it just keeps circulating. So it's so crazy. I built a computer. Dude, you can literally play this fucking MMO on a phone. Like that iPad could play this game. I built a computer just to play this little game. The guy goes, out of curiosity, like you're not going like full spec like everybody I know who's ever built, who comes in here to build a computer. You're like going middle of the road. And I go, well, I had this game, and he just laughs and he goes, dude, you can play on an iPad. And I go, yeah, I know, but there's other things I want to do with my computer too, whatever. Yeah. I found fucking Call of Duty 3 weeks ago. It's been out since like 2018, like this particular version of it.
Yeah.
I'm so addicted.
Gotcha.
No, dude, I wake up at a half hour early to come here to play before I go to work. I've been late to work in the last 3 weeks, like 7 times. Oh, sorry, man, I got a late start. I'm in here just jonesing out on fucking video games.
Your Call of Duty is my destiny.
Yeah. I don't know why. I'm into building guns. Like now I have like all these guns in the game that like so
I see. I thought you meant real guns.
No,
I
no.
was like, I didn't know
these
you were a
cats.
gunsmith,
So these cats that I run with, they're like ridiculous level. They've been playing and they're so good at the game. And I'm like, I feel like a toddler, like you know what I mean, that type of shit. Well, then the guy's like talking about these guns and what they can do. And, you start picking things up after you put somebody down and you grab these guns and you're like, oh, wow, you can add this. And then the dude I'm learning from is going, you have no idea, do you? And he goes, dude, you can alter everything. And I go, get the fuck out of here. Now, I just get into where now they're going to flip everything into the next season. So I'm going to get all this new content, right? Yeah. So today I hooked up with this guy in this game, and we're just talking and chatting, and all of a sudden we're surviving through this whole thing together. Our teammate is off doing this shit. We're going to save him, coming back. Anyway, we kind of become friends on the thing.
Sure.
And so I had a buddy who's got all the guns open. So you have to get a blueprint for this gun for you to have it. So if you pick it up, you don't not automatically get the blueprint. You've got to exfil. You got to get out of the game to keep that blueprint. So I figured out a loophole. So if the guy has the gun, you can drop it right in the exfil. You pick the gun up. Now you have the blueprint for the gun. Now, not only has he given you that gun, but now you have to level that gun up to get it to that level. So if you lose it, now you lost that good gun, but now you can build it back up to there.
Right.
So this guy said, hey, man, do you have the hemlock? And he's like, what's a hemlock? And I go, I go, dude, I've been working on this one. And I throw it on the ground, and I go, try that out. And he runs around, and he goes, holy shit, this is a really fucking good gun. He goes, dude, this thing is amazing. And I go, now let's go to the plane and get the fuck out of here, because now you can have that gun. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, but if I lose this gun, it's gone. I go, no, now you got the blueprint. Now you can build it to your spec. And he goes, no way. And I go, yeah. I go, dude, I've only been playing this game 3 weeks, and I've got all this shit figured out. You know what I mean? Like, such a junkie, dude.
See,
it's so ridiculous.
But you've also got that sense of community, and that can be one of the fun things, is that it's so rare you encounter it. Yeah. Right. One of the things that I got into when it was still going, it's kind of dead now, was there's that Friday the 13th video game that came out like 5 or 6
years
ago.
I hated it.
That's the thing. Was like at the start, it was rocky as hell.
Weird, right?
It was weird. But then, like, you know, the devs got it a little better. But if you were in and you had your headset on, I remember one time where Jason came up on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you want to just follow me around while I kill people? And I'm like, yeah, why not? And then the team started doing better, and they started beating the Jason. It was not his plan. And he's like, all right, everybody, listen. Y'all got me dead to rights. Why don't we go set this thing up proper so you can kill me in style?
Right.
And he stood down, and he let us kill him because none of us had seen what that movie, cinematic, whatever.
Right. Yeah, the cutscenes.
Cutscene looks like when you kill Jason in the game. He's like, all right, guys, so here's what you got to do. You go here, you grab that, you go there, you grab that, you're
sick.
Standing one step too close, just take a hair step back.
Yeah.
And when I tell you when, you push button X. And he's like, when?
Oh, God.
Boom. But I remember thinking,
I
like,
love that
how much
shit.
fun is this to where, like, we're all sharing this thing together.
Yeah.
And it's not like, the fuck you live in your parents' basement.
Yeah, toxic. Yeah, super
it's just a toxic thing that's like, you know what? Whatever. That's why I just keep my headset off all the time.
This game is so. It
seems like it's like that, though.
No, it is
toxic.
Is it toxic?
It's so toxic.
I'm sorry,
dude.
you mean Call of Duty is
Call of Duty.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about
You will understand the teabag.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
it is so horrible,
I played
dude.
Call of Duty, and that was one of the games that really got me into the. Left 4 Dead was when I was first like, I think I'm cool with this.
Yeah.
But that community shifted too.
Yeah.
And that's when I started shutting off. And I tried Call of Duty.
Dude,
and I shut it off.
This thing right here, though, is something that when I came in, like people are starting to camp the exfils. So what they do is they wait. Dude, you're fully loaded. And they will wait for you to come there, and then they'll kill you, and they'll take all your shit. Yep. I'm talking, I had 70 grand, dude. I'm like 2 weeks in. I can't believe I got this amount of money. I'm too afraid to go to a buy station to buy cool shit. I'm like, if I'm not picking up cool shit, I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to get out safe.
Yeah.
I get to the damn thing. I got a large backpack. I got 3 guns. I got all of this stuff, and I'm like, I'm done. And I'm just sitting there and I'm screaming at this, you fucking dickhead. You like, I'm just trying to get out of here, man. You know what I mean? And they're laughing at you. But on the other hand, I've been with cats that are just ruthless to people. Like,
absolutely.
Today I was with guys where they're like, hey, are you friendly? Are you friendly? Are you friendly? And if you didn't answer right away, you're dead. And then they would res you. They're like, if you're cool, we'll let you back up. But if you start aiming at anybody, we're gonna kill you again and leave you for dead. Mm-hmm. But we got a party of 6. Like right before you guys showed up, I was in a party of 6 with these dudes, and it was just mayhem, complete mayhem. You know, we had 2 guys run up, and we're like, friendly, friendly, friendly. We went around them and just pointed our guns at them, and they didn't say anything. A dude kept saying, "You've got 3 seconds before," and that here comes a helicopter. All right, he just shoots them, and everybody else goes, "Whoa!" And it's, hey man, I told him, say what's up or you're dead. That's it. You know.
I'm gonna throw you a little bit of a curveball. I don't like horror movies.
Yeah.
Because they scare me. I'm obsessed with horror video games.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited that Resident Evil 4 just got released.
Dude.
So I had to make the Sophie's choice yesterday because it was time to get a new game, and it was like, do I get the Dead Space? Or do I do Resident Evil 4?
Yeah.
And I did Dead Space because I've just been jonesing to play it.
Yeah.
And
You can't go wrong.
And I played Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And I'm like, I love this game, but it just makes me want to play Dead Space.
Yeah.
I still love Callisto Protocol. It is
Yeah.
its own animal, but it's still just... And I remember how Dead Space was one of those few games that I played several times.
Yeah.
The fact that they remade it, it made me so happy because playing it on the 3, because the controller's so just gross and small and just trash. But the fact that they remade it, I'm like, because this goes back to like,
Did you get it?
Not yet. I'm saving for a pedal board. I'm keeping my priorities in order.
God, I wish I still worked. I worked at Funko for like 3 years, dude. But I worked in the warehouse where my first job was refurbishing all the games that come in. We had these machines. I had like 5 machines I would run at the same time and shit. It was awesome.
Sure.
I loved it. Music, cool people, video games, and then I moved into the station where you fix PlayStations and all that shit, and it was the best goddamn job I ever had. So much fun. Yeah, dude, the whole day you played video games. That was it. I got to test this one, and you're 15 levels in. Your boss walks by and goes, "That's level 15. I think that one's pretty good." "Oh, no. It's still glitching around 16. It's glitching, that kind of shit. Yeah, we did that all the time. But we always used to hook our friends up, too, when it came to... We'd get, we
Dead
get stuff
Space
from
or
the
Resident Evil 4. That
So
is
you see what I was dealing with last
That is a hard question.
You can't go wrong with either one.
I can't go wrong with either one, but I had just played one of, I think it was the Resident Evil 2 reboot.
So amazing.
And so that's why I'm like, you know what? I already did a Resident Evil.
There you go.
Let's do something else.
Dude, Dead Space.
But now you're all talking about these cool games, but lately I've just been playing Lawnmower Simulator. I downloaded it as a joke.
Yeah.
I'm like, because it was free on PlayStation
Yeah,
Plus,
yeah.
and I'm like, what the fuck? Let's just see what's up. Fucking Lawn 6. I'm like already hired an employee, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm.
I love those games.
And I
dude.
started. See, you're like the 7th person I've talked to, and I'm talking to them like, you won't believe how stupid I am, and they're like, no, there's so much bliss in mowing a lawn, and I'm like,
it's along the same lines as playing The Sims.
It is.
That's what
I
makes
got
it.
really into that for a
Sims?
Good, yeah.
Bro,
When
I used to know the money glitch code
Yeah.
off the top of my memory because I played it so much, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I just loved building like the perfect house and everything. And there was this, dude, no, I get it.
We're such dorks. I love
Yeah,
it.
I love it too. All right, man. We got one more song, right? Yeah, we got one more song. I've got.
Did you get it right?
Is it right?
There's only
I
one
hope so.
left.
I know, but he had a mislabeled before.
Yeah, I did. Shit in your brains, right?
Yeah, shit in your brains.
All right. Yes, it stayed. I don't know how it's. How did it not? That one doesn't say that. See, that's just weird. I must have done it 2 in a row.
No one's perfect. Nobody's
Damn
perfect.
it.
Nobody's perfect.
Probaty's perfect. I want to say thank you guys for coming in and doing this stuff.
Dude, thank you for
It's
having
always
us.
such an awesome time to hang out and chit chat about everything. And
Dude.
I'm excited to hear the new stuff. I'm excited to. I haven't made it out to one yet, and I know I promised to come, and I just wasn't able to do it both times.
I'm pretty sure there'll be some shows on the horizon. I'm pretty sure.
Well, hopefully we should do one at the Skyway.
Yeah, love to. And thank you. You've been one of the people that really helped Wolf Mask get moving. And the thing with Wolf Mask was it started kind of as a gag between Eric and I.
Yeah.
But people saw it and they liked us and they gave us chances and they did nice things for us. You're one of them. David Rabin's another one. Will picked us up. And it's just Wolf Mask got where it was because people have been kind to us.
Right.
And I think that's great because when I started the band, it was like, I'm tired of being in a band where everything has to be, we need to write the darkest, most serious lyrics about nihilism. And I'm like, what if we just write songs about movies we like and see what happens?
Yeah.
And people love it.
Yeah.
And it's fun. So, but thank you for having us.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dude.
I love you dudes,
And
man.
thanks for this guy.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
Thank you for taking a chance.
So then we got some shit in our brains.
Shit in our brains. I must have shit in my brains.
We're going to rock it. And I appreciate everybody who checked us out tonight. Thank you. I know this one's run a little bit long, but you know what? When you're in a good conversation, you just let it rip. Oh, yeah. And thank you, Danielle and Jeff and everybody, Spencer and everybody who chimed in the chat to help me, kind of bust it open with this silly speak and spell chat thing. I had fun with it. I thought it was good.
Was dope.
I loved it.
It was great.
It's still funny how even though we pointed out that we're like, why are we stopping for the speak and spell? And I tried to buck the system.
Yeah.
But you all kept like, what?
I'm a real person,
Yeah.
David.
Yep, I'm a real person, David. All right. Well, you guys have a good night, and thank you again, and thank you for coming.
Thank you
for having
Yeah.
us.
Appreciate it.
And you guys, don't forget to check out Lowbrow Saints Tattoo Collective and check out ritualmanispodcast.com. 277 episodes up there for your listening pleasure. 78 in the books. Thank you very much. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Come to YouTube, subscribe, be friends with us. We'll keep this thing rocking and rolling. And peace out, y'all.
Hey, asshole, what do I look like to you? A sitting duck.
Hey, Carmine! Let me ask you something! What's this off? The metal detector's burned! Those that in your ass! Or the shit in your brain! You're the wrong guy at the wrong place at the wrong time! Story of my life! That's why I thought you'd bring to life from a Christmas ain't none of the big Christmas tree. I gotta crawl around this motherfucking town. You're the wrong guy at the wrong place at the wrong time. Story of my life. Oh man, I can't fucking believe this. Another basement, another elevator. How can the same shit happen to the same guy twice? You're the wrong guy at the wrong place at the wrong time. Story of my life.
You can have two. Fucking you.
Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual Madness Podcast. Ritual